Tuesday night vibes, the mic's on fire. C3 Panthers Podcast, fueling desire. The professor bringing wisdom, Cody lacks raw wit. The voice and Bat Daddy, yeah, the crew legit. Live at 9, watch the sparks ignite. Carolina pride, teal and black take flight. Talking Bryce Young, got the future in sight. C3 Nation, roll deep through the night. Playbook, crafting that plan. Dan Morgan stacking talent, every move's the man. Panther growl loud, stadium lights gleam. From Charlotte to the globe, we reppin' the dream. Tap in for the breakdowns, the plays in the news. Analyzing every yard, never hitting snooze. QB1 Bryce, turn the doubters confused. C3 Panthers Podcast, always in the groove. The professor dropping facts, Cody's passion's alive. But Daddy wild takes, keep the theories revived. The voice with the insight, smooth as silk. Cock calf, sharp enough to cut, no barley or milk. Live at 9, watch the sparks ignite. Carolina pride, teal and black take flight. Talking Bryce Young, got the future in sight. C3 Nation, roll deep through the night.
Maybe we're just saying we're going to take a drink of this Kool-Aid, and then we say, that tastes a little funny. The Panthers put up 30, and the Falcons never crossed the 30 on Sunday, making for the Panthers' first win in 2025. They're heading to New England, who had a rough outing against Pittsburgh. So can the Panthers get a road win and take us closer to a streak? Tonight at 9:10, we'll have award-winning sports anchor Gabe McDonald from Charlotte Sports Live to join us to give us some added insight into this win and what it means for the Panthers. You're listening to the C3 Panthers Podcast, brought to you by CarolinaCatChronicles.com, where every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. we chop up the latest Panthers news and opinions each and every week. I do it with my wheelman, Cody Lack. Good to see you, my friend.
Tony Dunn. You know there's nowhere I'd rather be on a Tuesday night than sitting here with my boys talking Panther football after a dominant W, shutting out the division rival at home in the home opener. Damn, that feels good, Tony. And boys, we all needed that so bad. But you know who else needed it? The best damn Panther fans in all of YouTube. We got them all in the house. It's our boy Brandon Malone, C3 Anthony, C3 Doug, Harvey London, John B. Jenkins, Mint City Matthew, Panther Gal 73, Rock Rhyme, Tim Stellings, Tyler Jones, and VR the Hope Dealer. Tony Dunn, it's a Tuesday night, brother. Ain't nothing to it but to do it. Let's roll.
The number's 252-228-5098. That's 252-228-5098. Let's get your thoughts and opinions on the Panthers, where they're heading, what they did, and how good it feels to get it done against the Falcons, man. That's great. CK in the house, the man with the golden pipes. Good to see you.
Man, happy to be here on a Victory Tuesday, brother. I mean, it was nice to be able to have the post game coming off that euphoric feeling of shutting out the Falcons. It's a good time, and we look forward, and we all of a sudden, we have the Patriots, which haven't been horrible, but haven't been like world beaters. We have another winnable game here in the next three. I would think 3 total weeks. I think these are all winnable games, and so. There's a good chance we go from being 0-2 to really going on a run here before we start having the most difficult part of our season there towards the end. But I'm happy to be here with everybody, all 4 of us here talking about the Panthers, and just ready to go, man. Just ready to have ourselves a good old time.
10 o'clock tonight, we'll be giving away the Panthers swag bag where you can win for September, where you can win your piece of historic memorabilia for Bank of America Stadium. So you guys check out that. Good to be back with the Stat Daddy, the Bat Daddy. How you doing, Greg?
I'm doing fantastic, man. It sucks. This is a game that I missed this week. I wasn't able to watch it, but I was keeping up with it as it was going, and I kind of couldn't believe what I was seeing, just keeping up with the stats and reading and everything. And my brother-in-law is a huge Falcons fan, so this is a big week for me to be able to talk a lot of trash to him. It was good. But I went back and watched the highlights, recap of the game, so I, know what's going on. And from what I saw, it wasn't too bad of a game. It's going to be interesting to talk about. And, like I said, maybe this is spark of something here. You know, everybody was talking going into this game about how great Atlanta's defense was and how they're going to smash us because of their defense, and it didn't look too good to me.
Sorry.
So, yeah. So I mean, we'll see what happens.
Well, it turns out the good defense was for the Carolina Panthers, who shut out the Atlanta Falcons first time. CK, right? 2016 last time we did it.
Yeah, it was 2016. No, 2015. I think it was our 38-0 win.
And also against the Falcons, right?
Yeah, that was against the Falcons. The last shutout we had was in 2020 against Detroit, or 20-0. Yeah, we was 20-0 in 2020. But that was a 20-point game. There was still, I think that was the game Devin Funchess went off on, maybe, if I'm not mistaken. So it was an interesting, but it's a lot of parallels to that 2015 season starting to come back. I
think Funchess had like 5 drops when he went home.
Was that what it was?
Remember. I mean, he might have gone twice. I don't know. Hey, 30-0, 20-0 at, I think, third quarter, halftime, around there. Biggest lead for Bryce Young in his career as a Carolina Panther. 30 in his third year. Finally got him 30-point lead. Man, a lot of news around the NFL happening too. A lot of changing of the guard when it comes to the teams leading the NFL. Last night's Monday Night Football game, incredible right there. Detroit Lions on the road against the Ravens. And
we have the same record as the Ravens now. Ain't that something?
And I think Kansas City might have 2 wins. I saw Justin Herbert too with the greatest throw of the season. Your boy
Herbert's a dude, man. He's just a dude.
We'll pop around the news. You know, Carolina Panthers, they bumped up a little bit in the power rankings now, 21, I believe. I think we have in the show notes. A lot to talk about tonight. And we're even getting coaches fired already. That's right. It's happening.
Yeah.
It's happening around the
league. Not ours, Tony. How about that?
I know. What 1 week can do. And really impressive performance by the defense. So you guys, man, thanks for joining us. Make sure you smash thumbs up button, subscribe to the podcast, the longest running Panthers podcast, 14th season, never missed a week. Here for the post game shows. We appreciate all your support. Great community being built right here. Cody, we might as well, actually not right as well. We're right on time right here. Hell, have we ever been right on time? I don't think so. Gabe McDonald,
first time,
Charlotte Sports Live. Latest sports anchor. Thanks, Gabe, for joining the Z3 Panthers podcast.
Hey, appreciate you guys for having me, man. Obviously, a lot to talk about here this week after the Panthers got a big 30-0 win. Obviously, Victory Mondays. Sometimes they've been few and far between the past several years. At least, since I got here, first season covering the team was 2022. We all know that's been an up and down season, and then since then. But I think there's a lot to really feel good about after what we saw on Sunday, and ready to talk about it with you guys. So I appreciate you guys having me on.
Thank you so much. 14 years. This is our 14th season doing the podcast, man. And the last about 8 have been us walking through the desert. We found a little spring of water this past week, and we're hoping for more manna from heaven going forward as we face the New England Patriots. Really, what's been standing out to me about your content, Gabe, that I really appreciated as a fan, particularly, I don't live in Charlotte. I live in Greenville, North Carolina. Our boy Cody does. He's a celebrity in Charlotte. But the player interviews, you're incredible with the players in that the way you're that kind of, it's like a really high level insight, but also it really feels like these players kind of relax with you and talk with you. So I'll just start this is, what was your impression, or after this game, I saw you got to talk with, and we're going to play the clip of Princely Umemnian talking about Trevor Morg. But I look back to the Derek Brown interview after Arizona. I've got a lot of thoughts about that and what his leadership means for the team. But what was your vibe with the players after this game and what it meant for the team itself going forward?
Really just a lot of good energy, man. Even talking to a guy like Shaw Smith-Wade, who really, just his enthusiasm really can jump out of the screen at you. And obviously he made a lot of big plays here in the second half. Got picked on a little bit there in the first quarter, but he was able to bounce back and make arguably the biggest play of the game with that pick six. But I think, you're just seeing guys that obviously they know how much these wins and these, games mean to fans, because they know that they want to get, bring that, winning culture back to Carolina. So I think you're seeing a lot of guys, though they may be young in the NFL year, Shaw Smith-Wade only in his second year, T-Mac obviously being a rookie, but I think you're seeing guys already that, even though they're young, they're starting to show some really good leadership, but also, bring a lot of juice on the field too. So I think that's one of those things that's really caught my attention the past couple of weeks. And you touched on the interview with Derek Brown. He's somebody that's always going to keep it 100, win or lose. He's always somebody that we can count on to, just show a lot of leadership. Sean Robinson, the same too. Got to talk with him after the week 1 loss there in Jacksonville. So 2 guys that certainly are unquestioned leaders on this team that bring a lot of passion, just because they know that they obviously being veterans, a lot of people look to them and they want to bring it each and every Sunday as well. But I think after this week in particular, certainly a lot of good vibes and a lot to smile about. Obviously, you just think about being able to come out and have a dominant performance in all 3 phases of the game. Really good complementary football. Special teams came up big. Defense getting stops when they needed to. Didn't even let the Falcons cross the 30-yard line. That's a stat that, honestly, I was very surprised by. I even talked with Princely in the locker room yesterday. He even said himself, he didn't even know if that's ever happened in his football career too. So I think you're seeing a lot of guys that are really starting to buy in to what the guys up top are, really trying to instill in regards to the culture here in Carolina.
Gabe, thanks again for being here. There was a lot of talk before the season that Ejiro Rivera, defensive coordinator, may indeed be on the hot seat after giving up the most points in NFL history last year. This was such a needed performance by his defense. What do you think was the difference maker between week 1 and 2 and ultimately what the Panthers were able to do at home? What motivated them to put on such a dominant performance, and what do you think the difference maker was?
I think, honestly, a lot of them hearing the talk too and just responding and, just bringing it on the field. And I think the main thing is putting guys in the best positions to succeed. When you think about, obviously, a guy like Trevon Merrick, which everybody's been really complimentary of, kind of that chess piece that can play, obviously in the back end, but also come in the box and even rush the passer as well. I think that rib shot on Michael Penix Jr. was a game-changing play. Penix was not the same after that play early on in the first quarter, and obviously it showed in his performance on Sunday. So I think you're seeing a lot of guys putting in the best positions to make plays, but also these younger players as well. Lathan Ransom with an incredible game when you think about him and as far as a run defender as well, and even Princely and Nick, making the most of their increased reps with Pat Jones II being sidelined currently too. I think you're just seeing a lot of these guys that they really expected a lot of. When you think of these young players coming in, they said it after the draft, guys like Princely and Nick, they had first-round grades on, and now you're seeing them really come alive and make a difference as well. So I think, the run defensive style, Derek Brown being Derek Brown there in the interior, but just an increased attitude, because defense, it's all about effort. It's all about want to, there's really not a whole lot of, complicated things when it comes to it. How bad do you want to stop the guy in front of you? And I think, they definitely responded to a big challenge, and it obviously showed in a goose egg on Sunday.
Gabe Davis, Carolina Sports Live, joining us, helping us figure out how this Panthers team's moving forward after this. Week 1, Gabe, there was, you saw the frustration with the quarterback. Their clip, how many, it kind of was different levels. At one point, he's sitting under the shade. He kind of looks, there was a sad moment, then there was this angry moment. And there were moments too, I felt like the team, and I kind of defeated look on the sidelines to a certain degree. Come out week 2, really difficult, start to the game, a lot of fight. And I'll come back to that Derek Brown interview that you had. And Derek Brown made a monster tackle. I think it was on Bijan Robinson early in this game. And to me, it meant so much for the team, right? And a sort of confidence. You talked about his leadership also. You talked about the juice, and we're starting to see some of the personalities of these players. I felt like Derek Brown is a guy right there in that play that reminded these guys that they should have confidence, that they are in the NFL and among the elite players. And did you, you've kind of mentioned that sort of juice that's permeating or a little confidence. Do you see that attitude on the field throughout this game?
Oh, absolutely. You mentioned Derek Brown. He hit the nail on the head. A guy, Brian Baldinger, obviously has really good film breakdowns and saw one of the plays that Derek Brown made. You're throwing a Pro Bowl, one of the best right guards in the entire NFL, and you're just throwing him around like he's a 150-pound, wideout. And I think obviously you're seeing a guy that is fully healthy, confident in his game. The last time we saw him in a full season, he was a Pro Bowler for a reason, and that's why you paid him that big contract after that as well. So I think, you're really starting to see that carry over, and he's somebody that obviously can make a big difference. We all know his absence last year was certainly missed when you think about, just the defense and their struggles from a season ago. So I think you're seeing a lot of guys rally around him, and being able to kind of feed off that too. But when you have a guy like that can command double teams and really allow, the linebackers to free flow, allow for the guys on the edge to have more one-on-one battles, that makes a big difference. And that's honestly a big reason why the Panthers had success on Sunday. So I think Derrick Brown, being out there, getting back to his Pro Bowl form is definitely a good sign of some pretty good things to come for that defense as a whole.
Gabe, there's another pandemic going around, but it's way better than the last one, and it's called T-Mac fever. Jumping around to the offensive side of the ball, Panther fans are so excited about Teteroa McMillan, and every single game, he is jumping up seemingly 10 feet in the air, grabbing a ball out of the sky. Fans seem to think that he might be the truest number one wide receiver that we've had since Steve Smith. Can you talk about the impact that our first-round pick has had on this offense and what they expect from him going forward?
I mean, he's really opened things up when you think about it. I mean, obviously, like you said, a true number one receiver. And when's really the last time that the Panthers have had that, honestly? There was a lot of hope for a guy like Kelvin Benjamin coming out of school, and we all know how his career went. Then you think about, them trading into the first round to really get last year, up and down rookie season, dealing with injuries now. But T-Mac has really come out and just, he's had, some struggles, but he's had some great days as well. You think about the 100-yard day that he had there in Arizona. Obviously, this past Sunday, certainly some plays that he wanted to have back, but now that's really a sign of teams across the league now seeing what he can do. Obviously, that one play that he made where he pretty much just jumped out of the gym to make that one catch on the opposite sideline there on that big play, and even, the long pass that he had. And get this, he's actually tied with Jackson Smith-Njigba and Puka Nacua for the most catches of 20 yards or more. They all have 6 so far through these first 3 weeks. So you're seeing the big playability as well. So I think that's a guy that obviously is going to continue to grow. Obviously still, he's only 3 games into his NFL career and is already off to an incredible start. So I think obviously you're getting a really good return on investment. I know a lot of people were questioning the pick at the time when you think about the defensive struggles last year, giving up the most points ever. But you got to think about the offense. They want to be able to still get as many weapons for Bryce Young as possible. And they got a pretty darn good one right now. And he's definitely showing what he can do. And I think the sky is quite literally the limit for him because he's a heck of a player and he's been showing it these past 3 weeks.
Yeah.
CK, you got one for us or we keep going?
Bro, I think we'll let him keep his time on this evening because I think he's done a great job answering.
I know he's got to get out of here in 1 minute. So I ask you this, I'll give you your choice.
Yeah.
Comment on Bryce Young and his and what you're seeing from him, and can this look modest stats in this game? Didn't have to do much, but held on to the ball. I thought it was a great game for him, regardless of the stat sheet. The offense always they didn't have to go far. They were all getting the ball. They were getting the ball at the 50 half the time.
Yeah.
You can either comment on Bryce Young going forward or what you think the Panthers need to prepare for New England.
I would just stick with Bryce too. I think, like you said, they didn't really ask him to do much, and that's honestly how it should be, at least for the time being. When you think about, going back to last week, Bryce Young should never be throwing the ball 55 times in a football game. It's not his MO. That is a bad sign for this offense. And even though I know they came close to getting it done in Arizona, you still don't want that to be your recipe. And part of that was obviously spotting the team 10 points there in the first quarter. But I think when you're asking him to manage the game, take care of the football, and play turnover free, that's when he's at his best. And honestly, when he's at his most confident as well. Now, yeah, he's going to make those big plays, down the field. We saw that in the finale in Atlanta, obviously last year when he had a heck of a day getting 5 touchdowns. But I think, this game is a true sign of what you want this offense to be. Running the ball to set up the pass. Chuba Hubbard, starting to look like Chuba Hubbard had nearly 80 yards. Rico Dowdle having his best game so far, about 30 yards and a touchdown too. So I think Bryce is at his best, obviously, when he has the run game to really complement him as well. But I think, obviously, you want him to make big plays in those moments when it's needed. But whenever you're able to have great defense to really complement what the offense is doing, what he did on Sunday is honestly just fine. I know, you want to avoid the game manager label, but sometimes your quarterbacks need to be that when the situation warrants it. So obviously every week is going to be different. When you want him to go out there and be Superman, I think he's more than capable of doing that. He's shown it so far in his career. Obviously it's only been, just over 2 seasons, but I think he's definitely moving in the right direction. And I think they got some good stuff in store for him these next few weeks.
Gabe McDonald, Carolina Sports Live. You can stream it on Roku, Amazon Fire TV, Apple TV. Just real quick, is tonight's gear, you go and do you guys go casual, like fancy pocket square, or are you going, what's your style going to be tonight?
Just the pocket square for this one. No flour. Obviously, we can't go on in polos, unfortunately. Right. That's for when we're out in the field, dealing with the heat sometimes in training camp. But gotta I think it's my kind of houndstooth suit or something like that. Just though, but nothing too flash. But got something nice for y'all coming up in New England, making the trip up there this weekend. So I'll make sure to set fresh for that one. My first time up there, so I'm definitely looking forward to getting up for that game this week.
All right. Look good, feel good, play good. The Panthers did in those black helmets. Thanks, Gabe, for joining the C3 Panthers podcast. We'll catch up with you in the future.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you guys having me on. Y'all take it easy.
Have a good one.
All right, guys. Tonight's show, can dominant Panthers maintain momentum against underperforming Patriots? Right, is really as we get into tonight's show is we got a little of that reaction of and some insight into the juice and the players and what they're going on and what's happening there. But now the Panthers hoping to get some momentum here, and against the Patriots team, by the way, that struggled, had 3 fumbles on 22 carries, 2 fumbles. They have a running back who has the most fumbles in the league over the last 9 games or since last year. Second-year quarterback Drake May looked great against the Miami Dolphins, not so much against the Steelers. And the Panthers have an opportunity, but they got to go on the road. They're probably not going to be favorites, probably be close after this performance. Cody, where are we going? Where we start with tonight's show?
So before we jump into that, Tony, you alluded to it in the intro. Not only did the Panthers kill some Falcons, but we killed some Falcons coaches, boys. Now, if you listen to Falcons fans on Twitter, they would tell you that this was a problem that dated back to the start of the season, and it surely had nothing to do with the Panthers. But we all know better. We're going to talk about in a little bit how the Panthers' defensive backfield is literally amongst the very best in the NFL. But the Falcons have fired wide receiver coach Ike Hilliard. And, you can directly blame the Carolina Panthers shutting them out in the bank for this loss in Atlanta. Shout out to the Grim Reaper, Carolina Reaper, you know what I'm saying?
There's some panic setting in as the Falcons move their offensive coordinator from the booth to the sidelines after this. They're working out kickers again. Young who is now on the Giants practice squad.
Shout out to Prince William yelling justice for Young Hoku. Dude, he's such a vibe, man.
And now they fire a position coach in Ike Hilliard, team's wide receiver coach since last year. It's important to note, though, that in 2024, he was a position coach of a guy of a position group that thrived. Yeah, Drake London having over 1,000 yards. Darnell Mooney nearly had 1,000 yards. Ray McLeod had a career year. So it's kind of a reversal of fortune when it comes to 3 games in. And if you are kind of thinking about this, it looks like a little scapegoating right now, because if you go on Falcons Twitter, they are coming after Raheem Morris, right? Yeah, I always. Really, they are very, very upset with this Zach Robinson offensive coordinator. I think they have I saw 4 top 10 offensive picks, selections in the draft, and they got 0 points going forward, right? So the Falcons are trying to cover up this with the performance-based firing, but you're starting to see teams in week 3 starting to panic. Who's the coach for the Titans? I saw McDonald, Titans coach.
Yeah, off the top of my head.
Hold on, it is Brian Callahan.
Yeah.
Brian Callahan is giving up play calling already in week 3. The Giants are benching Russell Wilson for Jackson Dart is his name.
Yep.
And so you're starting to see some real. This is that teams that are starting out 0-3, they are starting to panic and they're already getting in to their fields. And Falcon fans are ready to move on. They want an offensive head coach.
All right. So here's my question. All right, and I think it's relevant because if we had lost this, are we not one of those panic franchise situations? And
for sure,
what do you think is going? What would be the news? Because from what it looks like across around the league, outside of maybe Houston, is all 0-3 teams are making a move like this. Whether it's firing somebody, benching their quarterback, changing play calling duties, things like that. What would have happened had we lost this? What would be, because I had always maintained if we started out the season not doing well, Evero could be on the chopping block pretty early. Again, I think that he's, obviously this is such a great performance that you're really having a hard time justifying letting that guy go now. Out barring, and this was one game, to be fair, but what would be the panic move for the Panthers right now if we were 0-3?
Yeah, what's the headline, guys? Give us the headlines if the Panthers lose. Hey, CK, do you want a Panthers loss that was competitive, or do you want a Panthers loss that was demoralizing? What's the headline?
Let's just say it's more of what we saw in the first 2 weeks, so as to make sure we just kind of keep consistency.
Well, I mean, listen, even in the first 2 weeks, though, the Panthers defense, as Tony alluded to, they were basically the best part of the football team against Jacksonville and against the Cardinals. And CK, you had made the prediction, as you mentioned earlier in the season, that it would have been Ejiro Evero basically getting the axe if this defense continued to falter like it did last year. So I don't know what the headline would be, but I know right now the Carolina Panthers have the same record as the Kansas City Chiefs and the Baltimore Ravens. Like right now, all of a sudden, we're sitting at second place in the division. This really felt like the spark that ignited our team that could potentially propel us into future success down the road. I feel like this team has a bunch of confidence now that it didn't before. And now you're going into another road matchup against another 1-2 team that has not looked well. I feel like we got our swagger back. This game was how the Panthers got their groove back. It involved this defense. It involved Trevon Moore. It involved these two young studs in Nick Scorton and Prince Aluman rushing off the edge, who looked like they're about to feed families for the foreseeable future. I don't know what the losing headlines would have been, but I know after this win, the Panthers are now feeling better about this team than they probably have in 5 years.
Yeah. Well, if you look at the last 6 quarters we've played, counting that half of the game, game 2, and then the entire game 3, we've looked like a totally different team. I think we've allowed 10 points in the last 6 quarters, which is pretty amazing. And I can't. We've probably scored.
It was good too. It was in Jacksonville. I think we only gave up. Another. It was not much. I think we might have held them with no points. I think in the second half of Jacksonville, or something like that. I can't. Maybe not.
But I guess the question would be, even though the defense may have taken a step in the right direction,
right?
0-3 start. There's bound to be a change, right, or something, right? So even if the argument would be the defense took a step in the right direction, nobody could say outside of this past week that this defense had been dominant up to this week. Like, by no stretch of the imagination could you have argued that. And so I think you're going to absolutely have a scapegoat. You're going to have somebody who you're going to have to fall back on. And right now, the wide receivers coach of the Atlanta Falcons was a scapegoat, even though I would argue that his the performance of the wide receivers was largely based on Penix being a horrible quarterback last week.
Yeah, I think the headline goes something like this: as teams panic around the league and make, I guess, what is it? Something like a firing that is, visual. The Panthers are panicking that Dave Canales and Bryce Young aren't the answer for the future. That would be, I think the headline is like, I actually don't think CK is like, I don't even think nominally firing a coach in this situation would even do anything. Like, I think it's like this, is that if you were trending in that 0-3 direction, everybody's going to get fired at the end of the year probably. So I think it would be hot seat gets hotter for Dave Canales and Bryce Young going forward if that was the case. But fortunately, the Carolina Panthers get a little breathing room right now. Is like, and really is like, it feels like weeks 1 and 2, we're worse than the Panthers really are, and that might is even when we were watching it. I think the fight in that Arizona game where they didn't last year, I think it was UCK that said last year, if this happened in week 2, you lose by 50. Right. And the Panthers were at that moment at the end fighting for it. And then they give them a home opener where they put together a really impressive, complete game, complimentary game. I don't think anybody's running away that the Panthers now deserve to be considered a contender or anything like that. but they're not dead in the water as they head against a very vulnerable, in a very favorable moment of the schedule, right? As you got Miami, Dallas, CD Lambless, Dallas coming up. You got the Jets on the horizon. You got New England next week. So good news that we don't have those headlines. And how the times turn. You go from last week, the Falcons surging, fighting hard with the Bucs in week 1, right? Fighting for potentially an identity built around Bijan Robinson and fighting for a division, to now there's panic in the water. There's fear in their eyes. And one thing is, it's really exciting for us too, is that Evero is not fired right now, because gosh, talk about the direction this team would be going, right?
That would be the worst case scenario for us to be in, is us in week 3 of the new season already making a move like that. I am, one of the things that I've said, and I've been very critical of Evero, this defense showed up. And to Dave Canales' credit, he said he was going to be pressuring Evero to play his young players. And we saw that this week. We saw those young players out there. Not only did we see them out there, they were dominating. Like, I don't know if you guys saw, I think you might have put it in there. We might talk about Nick Scorton, but like right now, I think they're saying he has been double teamed more than, like, I think he's been the 3rd highest double rate of anybody in the NFL, which is a crazy amount of respect for a guy who's got limited snaps on a defense.
Yeah.
Like, these guys are performing right now. This draft class that Dan Morgan's put together might be the most impressive draft class the Panthers have ever seen.
Oh, I like to hear
That's
that.
week 3 in. That's week 3 in.
Okay.
Keep in mind, it's only week 3, and this is very easily going to be possible that it changes, because week 2, we didn't feel very good about anybody on this team except for Tet, right? That was it. Here we are. We're seeing all these guys come in here. We have them getting turnovers. We have that Nick Scorton pressure that was really, as our guest talked about, was almost a game-changing moment. Like, these guys are absolutely working it, dude.
Yeah, listen, when you don't let the opposing offense pass the 30-yard line, like you guys alluded to, the Falcons defense were the ones getting all the talk coming into this, because they had 5 sacks against the Minnesota Vikings, but it was also a rookie quarterback, and the Vikings were also missing their starting left tackle. So if you read through the tea leaves, you can kind of see the makings of this performance. But boys, we're just going to start on defense, because per PFF, again, love and hate PFF, the Panthers are currently employing 2 of the top 15 corners in terms of coverage grade, minimum 150 snaps. Mike Jackson at 5th and J.C. Horn at 15th. And listen, boys, before the start of the season, the defensive backfield was kind of what we worried about the most, because there were a lot of new pieces to the defense. We didn't quite know how they were going to gel. But, dude, you have to go back and give so much credit to Dan Morgan and that trade that he made right before the start of the season last year to go and get Mike Jackson. That was such a brain buster move, and it was probably the best trade that he's made on this team since Dan Morgan has been here. It's paying off in dividends, and the Carolina Panthers have a nightmare defensive backfield.
Cody, why don't you pull up that Charlotte Sports Live clip of Trevor Morg on the team talking about you get Princely, Uman Nealon, and they also have Dave Canales talking about that about this defense. Mike Jackson, I told you guys I was a big Mike Jackson fan last year, and I wonder why he's rated 5th here, because J.C. Horn has an interception too, but this defense is really coming together. And one of the things that they look is the problem with stopping the run was so much of the problem with this team. You had I told you guys in week 1 that we like, oh my God, another 200-yard rushing game. Everybody's in a panic. There was a 70-yard run in that game that really busted things off and changed the dynamics of what that defense was doing against the run. Week 2, James Conner didn't do as much against the Panthers, and it was really that Kyler Murray improvisation run that was problematic. You went against the best running back in the league, arguably, or second, the top 5 running back in the league in Bijan Robinson. You held him to 72 yards. And this defense, a lot of it comes back to we went and got some heavy hitters in the secondary. You go and get Trevor Morgan in free agency. You draft Latham Ransom, and people were worried about coverage and over the top. You know what? Is we play so much zone and different things like that. You can afford this. We just need to not get beat underneath all the time, right up the gut in the middle. And they're using Morg like a damn linebacker half the time.
Yeah, man.
Here's Princely Uman talking about how they're using him.
Man, very much more dynamic. I didn't we was just watching the film. He don't play like a safety. He played defense like a D lineman or a linebacker. Like I seen him set the edge on an offensive tackle and blew the offensive tackle back. So to have a guy like that on our defense as safety is a big benefit.
The thing that stood out to me was just like the check downs, the flat routes. Obviously we had the, interception for a touchdown, but then there were just some amazing deep to short guys coming out of their shoes when the ball was gone. And that's all about effort. That's want to. And I love the way we showed up. Trey Merritt kind of stands out in my mind, coming downhill and just finishing physically, playing with leverage and making sure he got the tackle. Shaw had a couple of nice ones too.
All right. Talking about, starting to get some toughness. I think that this is actually my final. I want to look at some of the snap counts on the defense as we go forward. So you keep firing through the defensive statistics that you want to talk about. But really what the Panthers have lacked as a team on defense is toughness, guys. Is that it's like, as a lot of times guys are breaking tackles in the past, and you had a couple of hits. I don't know the last time I could tell you. So like I saw a hit like Derek Brown put on, and Trevor Morgan, I think, hit Penix going out of bounds and just like blew him up, right? It was really close. I was worried they were going to just call a flag just out of instinct because a quarterback took a hit. But it's like, man, do you remember all the hits that we would have back in the day? And you would just be like, oh, gosh, bone crushing. Starting to get some dog back in us. That's what I'm excited about with this defense.
Yeah, man. Now, listen, you see right here, I mean, this is our percentages of different coverages in man and zone. Like
Explain
you alluded
it to us.
Yeah, so listen, we are primarily running zone defense, as you just alluded to.
Yeah. A lot of nickel, probably.
Yeah, man. Dude, we're currently at 45% cover 3, 13% cover 4, and 9% cover 6. We're not really running man a lot. But listen, we are shutting down all the dink and dunk stuff and stopping them from hurting us underneath while also preventing them from running the football. The Carolina Panthers have a defense right now that is absolutely resurgent. And listen, we've already mentioned it a little bit, but you do have to give Ejiro Evero credit because they are responding to him in a way like I feel they have not in a very long time. And as you can see, again, this is from John Ellis. Says over the last 2 games, Carolina's defense ranks 4th in league-wide EPA per play, only behind Minnesota, the Rams, Atlanta, who we just beat, and then you have us, the Panthers. And to me, this is all of the things that Dan Morgan had to retool over the start of the season. And you have Cav telling me that I'm a little bit too excited about this defense, but all I'm doing is looking at what my eyes are telling me. They gave us some at least decent performances against the Cardinals, against Jacksonville. Now, after this dominant performance against a division rival, this tells me that we are trending up in a big way. And Tony, it also tells me how much the Panthers missed Derek Brown last year and how much he is literally the linchpin to everything that the Panthers do defensively.
Yeah, he's the best player. Go ahead, Greg.
I'll say, to be fair, Cody, I get what you're saying. But at the same time, with the Jaguars and the Cardinals, we also looked really bad on defense quite a bit.
But Greg, you just got done saying for 6
wouldn't
quarters
say
we didn't leave
really
the ball.
bad.
Okay, for 6
hold on.
quarters. I said for 6 quarters, that was half of the Cardinals game and the entire Atlanta game. For the Jacksonville game, our defense didn't look that great. And for the first half of the Arizona game, our defense didn't look that great.
Didn't
I'm not
Bryce Young
saying we haven't looked
have
good.
a fumble recovery for a touchdown?
Yeah, Bryce Young gave up 10 points in both of those games.
Right, in the Jacksonville game. Then you had pick 6, I think, to start. I don't know if it was a Cardinals game but I just disagree with that, Greg. Is I think that the defense, I think we're like PTSD about the defense, and that is that can't be good.
I don't disagree, but I also know that I agree with Greg on this, right? The eye test for those first 2 games, like if it was 3rd and 15, they were automatically giving that up every time. If it was 4th and 5, they were giving that up. They could run, no matter what the situation was, it felt like our defense was giving up the key plays that were needed to be stopped. That argument about the last half is that I'll give you the equal argument people were saying against why Bryce Young shouldn't be given credit in that Atlanta game, and that is they're not playing with their foot on our throats because they're up by 28-3, right? Okay. So I mean, we're not our defense. I'm not even counting that last half as far as like this crazy experience from the defense. This game, they earned a tremendous amount of credit, and I think that there is value in knowing that the team went from as a whole went really bad week 1. Week 2, they were just bad. Week 3, they looked great, right?
Well, they look good. Yeah, they look very good, right? And there are some concerning parts, CK. Linebacker play, right, is an issue.
Over the middle is very weak. Yeah.
And the other that you brought up is, when have you ever heard of a team getting a shutout that didn't have a sack? Right. So and I don't think, Greg, that to give I won't say credence, but like to your point is, I don't think that we're ready to say. I mean, anybody's going to say that we're dominant defense.
Yeah, that's
right.
all I'm
is that
say.
I think that
a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. That I think if we looked at the best part about the season so far and the team, the offense has underperformed. The defense has performed better than expected.
Yeah,
that's fair.
What I'll say is that both of them are trending in the right direction. I agree. I'm not ready to write the story of this offense and defense after 3 games. But what I am saying is that, especially after last year, we are now starting to see the type of momentum on the defensive side of the ball and the offensive side of the ball that lets me know that we have a lot more potential that we can tap into. And to me, this was the turning point for that. Shout out to a hero's path for the $2 love bomb. Says we couldn't stop the run in 4 years.
Last year was the worst.
Good.
Last year's defense was the worst defense in NFL history by some metrics. Right. So, I mean, any improvement is going to be improvement.
Yeah.
Right. But even though that, I mean, we still had the nervousness here going into this season, questions with, are they going to be able to generate pass rush? You're kind of relying on these younger players Patrick and Wanham, and then rookies. Can they did we have enough edge presence? Question. The linebackers, silly. Like, it's like, we're not even good at linebacker. And then, like Cody said earlier, is that secondary, new pieces, but unproven how they're going to work together. So it was not like we walked into this season, but thinking, man, the defense. And look, Joe Person came on the show and he said it can't get any worse. And I was like, oh God, please don't say it. Please don't say it. I said that about Matt Rule, leave it. And then we got Frank Wright. It got worse.
Right.
But it is nice. It's nice to have to not be crying about them as a unit entirely. And it's clear the defense was the catalyst for this game, right? I mean, they're the ones that they have been the better unit on the field out of the two. And I'll take that, but we're going to need the offense to get ahead. But we also don't. I mean, it's like it would be unreasonable for us to believe that the Panthers are truly going to have success with having a terrible defense again and Bryce and a rookie receiver having to put up 30 every week to try to be in games. So you have to incrementally get better on both sides of the ball, CK.
You know what I think this game illustrated? This is how our football team needs to win the game, right? You need to have the offense be effective enough early on to where we take a lead, and then because that's what happened. I mean, let's be real about it. We're talking about this defense playing well, but the defense, to be fair, this first 2 or 3 drives were, letting them walk down the field with ease until they got down to the other side of the field.
Too much
Right,
field goals.
they weren't locked down by any stretch of the imagination that first couple of drives. We just got lucky that they had a horrible kicker, right? And then Bryce Young was able to capitalize on that and come in, score a touchdown, get a field goal on that next drive. And you know, obviously we got bailed out by the defense in a couple of situations there later down the stretch. But I think that we have to win. The best way we're going to be able to win football games is our offense is effective enough early enough in the game to where we take a lead, and then we can play the brand of football that we find. The moment we lose that lead in two possession football game by the second half, we're out of that. Like
that's it. You've hit the nail on the head, CK. And this is we highlighted this in post games after week 1 and week 2, is that this team isn't good enough to play from behind from the start, right? And to be honest, the defense isn't going to be good enough to make it so they can contain. Like, this gave the defense an opportunity to thrive, because it put the Atlanta Falcons in difficult situations,
put them on
down in distance, right? Yeah, and a lot of that comes back to special teams, which I want to go to. We're going to talk about the kick in just a second. Let's finish up. Let's keep rocking through these defensive statistics and some of these snap counts.
First, I mentioned Derek Brown being the linchpin of this defense, and listen, it is absolutely the truth. And shout out to our boy VR, the Hope Dealer. Says pressure creates turnovers, and pressure is better than sacks. A lot of people know this, but listen, when I mentioned Derek Brown being the linchpin of the defense, let Brian Baldinger, who has some great breakdowns, tell you how great Derek Brown is for the Carolina Panthers.
I love this weekly segment of Derek Brown, where he takes grown men and he throws them like they're Frisbees. Like, this is Chris Lindstrom that he's going up against. He's getting doubled. Lindstrom's a hell of a player, Pro Bowl guard. But when it's time to go make the play on Bijan, see ya, Frisbee toss, Derek Brown. Like, he's just different. Nobody wants to be at the end of the Derek Brown body toss.
You damn right that I want to. And listen, man, look, this defense, like I said, I'm going to talk about the offense here in a minute. And, you know, we'll get to it. I do believe that the offense left a couple plays out on the field. I do think that we need to get better attacking downfield. That's really not a big part of our offense right now. I do think that we have the ability to grow and be able to do that at a certain point. But right now, what this defense did is it let our offense know that they have time to work out the kinks of this offense and better continue to push the ball downfield and to actually be able to start to run the ball and not be forced to have to throw the ball all the time because you're down by 2 touchdowns early in the first quarter. If your defense can maintain this type of performance, it allows our offense to start clicking much earlier in the year as opposed to what it did last year down the stretch.
Excellent point there, Cody. That you look at even the broadcaster, who I like the broadcasting crew. I don't remember their names, but I enjoy it.
I heard people talking shit about him.
I enjoy it. It's kind of like simple, you know, it wasn't anything great or bad, but, you know, I mean, it wasn't, they weren't stars, right? It wasn't about them. But one of the color commentary guys said, I'd like to see him take a shot here, right? As I think this is a good time to take a shot. And he said, because they're going to, or are they just going to go 5 yard, 5 yard, 5 yard, 5 yard and go downfield? You know what we did? We ran the ball for a first down, and and then we moved the ball. You look at that Arizona game, you fall behind so much, is that even when the defense started to hold them, you know, 6 points in the second half or whatever it was, that there was just the clock became the enemy. Like, is that this team has not yet found a way to move the ball quickly down the field. Even if you look back to Bryce Young's first, the one against Atlanta, right? It wasn't going back to one of his wins against Atlanta where we kicked the field goal to win. He starts on the 5. It took like 7 minutes to get to the 45, right? So this team does not have the ability, and CK's right. Like, it's clear why the Panthers didn't do well in the first 2 games, because they were already behind the 8 ball, and they're not good enough to be behind the 8 ball. They're not good like a Kansas in Kansas City with their vulnerabilities right now, who's not the same Kansas City that we're accustomed to, right? But you got Patrick Mahomes, you got these things. Is like, you're not going to be like going back to week 1 where the Bills are down 20 20 points in the fourth quarter. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
The Panthers can't play from behind. Now, that doesn't mean they can't not have a lead and do well, but it can't be like an insurmountable. They got to stay one score. Like once anything gets above one score, 10 points, then you're starting to worry about things getting out of control or the clock not being enough time.
Well, think about this, Tony. We're one drive away from looking like one of the most dominant teams in the NFL right now, to be truly honest with you, over the last 6 quarters.
Based on 2-1.
Yeah, based on what the comeback would have been in Arizona and then the way we just dominated Atlanta, we're one scoring drive away from looking like one of the most dominant teams in the NFL.
Half of the season,
we have 6 turnovers in the last 5 quarters.
Yeah, half of the season, keep in mind, half of the season, we remove the first game and a half, and we talk about the last game and a half.
Yep.
Like, we look like one of the most dominant teams in the NFL.
Offense and defense. Yeah.
Like offense and defense, special teams, you add that in, you're talking about a completely like rounded off, great football opportunity here for us to be able to make a run. And, with the remainder of this, what are the next 4 games, like I was talking about earlier, like there is a real possibility, not a guarantee, not a likely outcome, but there's a real possibility we're coming out of this 5-2 by the end of this stretch of these games that we have coming up.
Yeah, and CK, you alluded to this earlier, the amount of times that Nick Scotton has been double teamed, and it's literally was his 3rd game in the NFL, or no, his 2nd, right? He didn't play week 1, correct?
No, he didn't play. He maybe played 1 snap in week 1, I think is what it was.
Yeah, so
some
Nick
crazy
Scotton,
number.
Look, Nick Scotton is already double teamed at the 5th highest rate in the NFL, and it's not even far down. It's still getting a good percent of pressures. Man, the sky is the limit for these young guys, and isn't it incredible what happens when you decide to play your young players? We have been pounding the table for this to happen for years under Ron Rivera and then Matt Rule. You draft these young, talented players, and then you sign these older free agent veterans, and you end up giving them the start to be safe, and yet you end up stunting the development of your young guys. Through hell or high water, the Panthers have been forced to play their younger players, and now you can already see that it's starting to pay off real dividends for them, and it really does look like we have some defensive superstars in the making. Now we have to continue to see that, but the Patriots have turned the ball over something like 5 times here recently. This is another perfect opportunity for the Panthers to continue to bolster from their previous performance and show everyone that we have some dynamic, powerful young talent on this team that's surging at the right time.
Hit the next slide real quick. If you just finish up with this defense, we'll look at you talking about these young players starting to make not only just make a difference, but be involved in this. Chow Smith-Wade, 91% of the snaps. You know why? The Panthers play nickel a lot. They run 5 defensive backs out there a lot. And they're starting to use Trevor Morg because look at this, like a linebacker in a sense. They're walking him down more. So they might be a nickel, right? But you're running 3 safeties out there probably because look, Chow Smith-Wade, 60 snaps, 91%. Only one player on the team played more, and that's Roseboom at 100%. Mike Jackson, Nick Scott, J.C. Horn, starter, all the same, 59 snaps, 89% of the time, and Morg. So you look at this, is you're running out there. This is your defense that you're putting out there. You're putting out a nickel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 defensive backs, Chow Smith-Wade, Mike Jackson, Nick Scott, J.C. Horn, Trevor Morg. And then you're rotating, or you're getting in there, but also you're getting Latham Ransom in there 52% of the time, 34 snaps. Latham Ransom and Princely Uman-Milan are kind of running that same course of kind of becoming contributors, both 34 snaps on the field a lot together. DJ Wanham out there 73% of the time. You were missing Patrick. Is it Patrick the third or Patrick second? I can't remember. Patrick. But what this did is now I like this a lot. Nick Scotton was a starter. Not only is a starter, he's a full-time player. 56 snaps. He put just as many. Basically, he's right there with Morg, J.C. Horn numbers, right? Yeah. You are starting to, but look at this. Is that what here is really a good part about this is that Panthers are able to rotate defensive tackles here. You're rotating Derek Brown because you're trying to ease him back in. Like you want him to be dominant. You don't want him to be gassed. You don't want him to be set up to get injured. but you're rotating those defensive tackles right there with Derek Brown, Ashawn Robinson, Bobby Brown III, making difference. Bobby Brown III, they only played 17 snaps in this game. Kind of interesting there. But that is, you are starting to see kind of the identity, and you mentioned it, that backfield, that secondary is becoming really the identity of this team with Derek Brown and that rotation going forward. Yeah. Maybe we can see Scorton, that spin move, start to make a difference. Let's keep going, though, because it's already 9:56, and we haven't even hit the offense yet. Tell us what we're looking at.
Yeah, man. So, listen, this gets us to Bryce Young, right? And I sort of put this on Twitter. I alluded to it a little bit. Bryce Young, he was good. And one of the things that he was good at was not turning the ball over, which had been a problem the first 2 games. But Bryce Young, in this performance, and I said this, for as good as he was not the main reason why our offense performed as good as it did. He was 16 of 24, 121 yards. And, I mean, you see the chart, his longest pass was about 20 yards, maybe about 19 yards. So Bryce did not
receivers let him down too a couple of times.
Yeah, there were some of his receivers let him down, but there were also a couple that Bryce missed. You said on the post-game show that maybe there was one play that was sort of behind him. I counted 3 of them just watching in person. There was the one where he put the ball behind Hunter Renfrow. And by the way, I'm not shitting on Bryce. I do think that Bryce is taking a step in the right direction. And a lot of those throws that he missed, we know that he is capable of completing. But he had one that was behind Hunter Renfrow. He had another third down to Renfrow that was literally right at his feet. If it would have been in his chest, it would have been a big-time conversion on third down. And then at the end of the game, you had that ball that went up a little bit too high for T-Mac to catch it, but it was a little bit too low to the ground for Chuba Hubbard to catch it. And if that ball goes to Chuba Hubbard effectively, that's a walk-in touchdown. And I'm not even saying this to trash on Bryce. The reason that I'm bringing it up is because you see that there are plays on the field that have been left out there that we could have capitalized on, that once they go through the film, that Bryce should be able to continue to make some changes to his game, make some slight changes to his footwork and to his timing, and get the ball out on time. And this is an even more dominant performance by the offense than it was on Sunday. I like what JD says. It's all about rhythm. He's going to get that right. But what I really want people to take from this is that when you have a defense that's this dominant, it gives you leeway to the offense that we were not afforded last year. And
or in weeks 1 and 2 to a certain degree.
Right, it gives them time to grow as an offense and finally capitalize on some of those things that they didn't hit on this past Sunday.
Let me see. I want to make sure that I get this right. Yeah, I mean, and I'm trying to read the game book. I'm not as best at this as I can. But to put some context of why these numbers weren't like we're fortunate in this game, right? Because the offense was not just clean and as a whistle, right? But Bryce Young only took 1 sack in this game, so the offensive line played well. But here is one reason that these numbers are kind of modest. First drive began on the Carolina 39. Second drive. Ooh, wait. So this is So first drive, Panthers get the ball on their 39. That's an incredible good field position. Second drive is they get it on their 45. Another great field position, right? So the Panthers were able to get a touchdown to start that one. They did have to punt by the end from the Atlanta 47, so they did not go very far in that. Carolina, tough right here is that Carolina, the most difficult position they were put in, they get the ball on the 13. They go 10 plays, 53 yards, are able to get a field goal, puts them up 10-0 there. Panthers again get the ball in the 31. Advantageous, right? Like, I mean, that's CK is what's the best position you can get if they kick it in the end zone? It's the 30-yard line. They give it to you, right? If it goes out the end zone or whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so 31. So, like, I mean, even this is like good field position, like incredibly to start 31, right? Then you get the Panthers get the ball on their 29. But here, look at this. They get the ball on the Atlanta 45, the Atlanta 30, then the Atlanta 44, the Carolina 29. They have one drive where they were behind. One time they got the ball inside the 20 on their side. So, like, the Panthers really didn't have to go for it to get points. And I think that just gives a little context of why, you're not going to see 320 yards or something to that effect.
Well, I'll tell you, if I'm the Panthers, I'm not changing out of the black helmets until we lose.
I'm telling you, man.
That's what
I'm telling
I'm not
you.
changing out of the black helmets.
Cody, can we go to the kicking and the special teams real quick? Because CK was really on this in the post-game show, right? So kudos to you, CK, for pointing this out. And just like I just gave you CK here, just because we're doing the game right after, it's like kind of like we're trying to react instantaneously. We had a little time to think here, but just like I read out those beginning drives for the Carolina Panthers, this is where it happened for Atlanta. Here's the order. I'll just read them out quick. First kickoff, Atlanta 27, Atlanta 26, muff punt, best field. Look, Greg, think about this, is that Carolina gave them the ball on their 33.
Yeah.
And the field goal kicker missed the field goal, but the Panthers defense didn't give up a touchdown.
Right.
They got the ball on the 33.
Right.
But here, look, you're going to love this, CK, right here. Read it off. Atlanta 10, Atlanta 20, Atlanta 21, Atlanta 14, Atlanta 10, Atlanta 20, Atlanta 10, Atlanta 22. While the Panthers had advantageous positions the entire game, Atlanta was inside the 20 most of the time in this game, starting their drives.
Yeah.
And where this comes back to you, like you said, special teams. And Cody, go ahead and put it back up. I'll go ahead and I'll just set it up, and then we're going to give the mic to CK because he deserves the mic on this. But I just want, since we are Ryan Fitzgerald headline in the Atlantic, Ryan Fitzgerald's knuckleball kickoffs kept the Falcons on their heels. The Falcons' average starting field position was their 19 after the kickoff. Atlanta had one muff kick by Nathan Carter and twice started drives at its 10 in the second half. Nick Scott said they had no idea what was going on. That's a huge shout out to Ryan. He kicks a ball. It's almost like a knuckleball. I don't know how to describe it, but it's extremely hard for returners to track. And we can talk about, Dave Canales has some thoughts on this later on, but CK, it wasn't just that they were kicked. There's something to it. They are being aggressive in trying to drop it in that window.
Yeah.
And they're making plays.
Yeah, it was very clear to me that that the special teams performance, here's the deal. We can have a kicker that can kick the ball there, but we have to have people down there on that side of the field quickly to be able to get the stop before they're able to get any type of return going. So I absolutely think a tremendous amount of this credit is going to go to Ryan Fitzgerald and his ability to hit these knuckleballs. And
what does it even mean?
So basically what it means is that you're not kicking it to a returner. You're kicking it to the middle of the field, then it's going to roll to the returners, right? And by the time it gets to them, it's the egg. Yeah, it's like
they can't run it back.
Yeah, it's hard for them to figure it out because they have to basically stay back farther and wait until it gets to them, because if they try to track it and get up close to it, it's going to go past them potentially. So they stay as close to the goal line as they can. If they tried to let it roll into the end zone, then obviously good for them. They get a touchback, which I think in that instance, because it landed in the kick in the landing zone, I don't think they come out to the 35 like they would if it was landing in the end zone. Again, I don't know all the details there, but they've got this situation really, really well designed from what it looks like. And this chart here that I saw you guys post up earlier is, I think, just a pure illustration of how effective this is in comparison to the league, because like most everybody's in the same kind of 6 yards, things like that. And then you see the Rams and the Panthers, and there's nobody within 5 yards of our it's wild to see that. And I think this special teams aren't going to get a lot of credit in the media, But dude, they are like, in my mind, it's very possible. I know this is kind of silly to say. Our special teams might be the reason we won that game.
Our punter's good too.
It shows you how important special teams really are, and it's not just coach talk. When you hear these coaches talking to the team, and they emphasize how important special teams are, and you're right, CK. Most of the league is pinning opponents to, I would say, between the 26-yard line and the 31-yard line. The Panthers, on average, are keeping the opponents at the 21-yard line through 3 weeks of football. This is incredible. Boys, Tony, we've talked a lot about how there's been a kicker curse here in Carolina. We've let go of some kickers that have ended up being really good, Harrison Butker being the main one. And, you had a young, thicker kicker who a lot of people were excited about.
This
we let
guy's
go of him for Eddie Pinheiro. Now we have Ryan Fitzgerald. And
perfect on the
he
year.
Has really started to show that we might have broken the Panthers kicker curse, Tony. I'm loving it.
Well, I want to ask, when the NFL changed these kickoff rules, do you think they had something in mind that people could possibly work on to take advantage of? And I'm looking at this chart, and it looks like there's only two teams that are far and above everybody else. Everybody else is kind of down the line, close to relatively being the same. Do you think maybe Carolina's ahead of the game, figuring out the best way to use these kickoff rules to their advantage, and it's going to play forward more in the future with more people? I think right now more teams are just kind of kicking the ball off.
I think this chart inevitably is going to get it's going to be a lot more condensed by the end of the year. I do think you're going to see these numbers start to come down a little bit. Maybe not. Maybe the returners start to figure out the knuckleball situation and they're able to do the return in an effective way, even with that ball coming that way. But I think that this is just, we figured it out before everybody, a little quicker than everybody else did. So 3 games in, this data is going to look a lot more because the outliers, right? Normally, if you're talking about a data set that's 17 weeks, and outliers aren't going to be as impactful to the average. When you're 3 weeks, outliers are going to be a pretty large indicator of change in that number.
Fantastic question, Greg. And there was one thing that the NFL was trying to do with these rules. They were trying to force returns. They're trying, because of all the rules that have happened in the past, is that, because they're trying to somehow manage player safety, because these returns are where it's punts and kickoffs where the biggest car crashes happen.
Yeah.
And then on top of that is NFL kickers have gotten so juiced up over the years, and I'm not saying on zero, but it's different, man. People are hitting 63 yarders easy now. I mean, you're getting you're going to see a 70 yarder. What is it? Didn't somebody hit one that was some insane number just in the first week of the season? And so that's the thing, is it was meant to incentivize the kickoffs to not being an irrelevant part of the game. But you are onto something about the Panthers doing something different. They asked Fitzgerald, our kicker, about this. He said, I haven't seen too many teams be overly aggressive with the new rules with it. He didn't say new rules. He said with it. Just because a ball will come up short eventually, trying to hit a squib kick like that, there's a sort of luck involved in that. Some teams are more risk averse, not wanting to give the other team the ball on the 40 and take that completely out of the play. So they're much rather willing to say, hey, we'll take it on the 30 and not have the risk, because you give the ball to a team on the 40, you're talking about 3 points 80% of the time. They're going to get a field goal coming out of that. Really excited about this, Cody, because we've been all over the kicker stuff for so long. But you know what's awesome too? It's another young player. He's a rookie doing this. We're being the most aggressive team in special teams with a rookie kicker. Thanks for having some balls, Canales.
Love it, love it, love it. There is a youth movement here in Carolina. Let's continue on with the show, boys. This is some of the offensive breakdown. And
this is important here.
The snap counts.
Yeah, this is the snap counts. Dude, Chandler Zavala, and we can also sort of talk about this too. Robert Hunt is probably going to be out for the season with
Yeah, that was man. That them trying to say that he could come back was ridiculous. Sorry,
it does depend on how the recovery process goes, but I don't know. I mean, right now there's a lot of good things to look at in terms of our offense. Chandler Zavala performed well. I want to make sure that we hit on this again, dude. Cade Mays, that's the center.
Yeah,
that's the center. I don't want Austin Corbett, even if he returns back to health.
Nah, he's not.
I don't want him sniffing the center position again. Cade Mays is the center for the Carolina Panthers. He has finally found his home. He was a former 5-star prospect coming out of high school, big-time ball player. He is finally living up to that potential. And Bryce Young plays better when Cade Mays is his center. I want to make sure that we give Cade Mays all the love that he deserves when we're talking about this offensive line performance, because it seems like everybody performed better due to his presence.
Yeah, I agree. I think what might be more interesting than even just the offensive line right here, I find it incredibly interesting that it felt to me like Bryson Tremaine played a very good game the week before last, and he had more of an impact this past week on 28% of his 16 of the plays.
Yeah. First two catches, I think, of the game went to him.
So, but David Moore has basically switched. He's now in the wide receiver 2 spot with Xavier Legette out. I felt like the appropriate move would have put Bryson Tremaine there. I'm not saying anything against David Moore, but I mean, even with his performance, like I think he caught one pass.
Yeah, I don't even remember him being out there. But that's the kind of crazy thing is he was not. And actually, I think it just tells more about what they need the wide receiver group to be at this point, is that you've got Tet, who's a rookie. You know, you don't have Adam Thielen anymore, right? And I mean, kind of going with 2 rookies and undrafted this on the outside, and having Hunter Renfrow, who has not played in 3 years. It's crazy. Excellent point that you bring up, because look, one thing is that while Bryson Tremaine didn't play a lot of snaps, they went to him twice right on in the beginning. Yeah. Right in the beginning, right? So that's exciting. But here, there's like, I was so excited and I give Colin Hoggard, WFNZ, the credit because he put me on the trail of this on his Monday morning broadcast. But it's unfortunate because we're about to have some insight into what the Panthers were going to try to do or what they did, and then we get the bad news that Jatavian Sanders is going to miss weeks.
Yeah, that sucks so bad, dude.
CK, just to put a little like context of David Moore there and why Bryson Tremaine, you know what you were doing is if you look at this, is Hunter Renfrow only had 1 more snap than Bryson Tremaine. What the Panthers did in this game is they went 3 tight ends. Sanders, Trimble, 34, 33. And then the rookie, where's he at?
Mitchell Evans,
20. So they went out there, and you know what? They said this is that we've got to protect Bryce. We don't know what's going on. Now missing Robert Hunt. And they, instead of trying to receiver point guard it, they went heavy.
Yeah. How long have we been calling for this? Go to these big, heavy packages with 2 tight ends where you're versatile. They don't know if you're going to run the ball or throw the football. You're able to play a lot of play action. This is what the doctor ordered for the Panthers. And, you know, I think that we're also going to see Mitchell Evans really get the opportunity to just show you why he was drafted and what he can do for the team this year. Him and Tommy Tremble, they might be a nightmare duo for the Panthers.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how these how they react to the Jatavian Sanders being out now, though. I think that's a big deal. Coker isn't back next week. We got at least next week without him being back. He has to miss at least 4 games, having been on IR. And if Xavier Legette's injury is any more than a 1-week miss, I mean, next week we're talking about being a bit skeleton crew.
We're talking Tommy Tremble, who some people were worried about him getting a little nicked up in that game. We haven't heard anything about that, but Jatavian Sanders out. Excited though, Mike, the Mitchell Evans.
Yeah.
I mean, talk about another youth movement. The guy is a baller, dude. The guy can play. He been blocking, do all that. Talk about a youth movement. dad moment here. My son just texted me. He got his results from his ACT. He got a 32, bro, on his ACT. That's out of 36. This is
Hell yeah.
That's awesome.
This mug. This mug.
Congratulations.
I knew. I'm so proud of him.
That's awesome.
Just like a man I am a cloud nine right now when it comes to the Panthers and this. I am really upset. Or not upset. Is that this Ja'Tavion Sanders alone is not a problem, right? I mean, he was starting to come into his, like you said, you tweeted it out, Cody. He's starting to come into his own, but he wasn't what our offense was built upon. But now you're starting to get like CK said, is like this is getting a little thin here.
Yeah,
right?
You lost Thielen. You brought back Hunter Renfro, but I mean, 29% of the snaps isn't cutting it for a guy who was supposed to replace Thielen, who probably would have been out there 90% of the snaps.
By the way, Adam Thielen has yet to do a damn thing for Minnesota.
Oh, I know. I think that's a. I think they might be trying to. I think they might be trying to legitimately. Make sure they don't give us the extra pick that they basically the pick they gave us is conditional on him playing a certain number of snaps or something like that.
Really? But they did smoke them with that defense, though. You don't have to do anything. They scored 37 points because Brown had just was throwing pick sixes everywhere. Cody, actually, let's go ahead and move on. Unless you guys have any final comments about this. Did you want to say anything about we good? Because it's time to give away the swag bag, dude.
Let's do it, man. Let's give away some swag.
Can you bring up the image of it? Each and every month, we're going to be giving away a Panther swag bag. This month right here, you get a and really this is going to be the mantra of the bag. I was able to pick up and find this is that I have a bunch, not a bunch, but I have a box full of these metal logos, and I don't know if they go on the seat backs. I think they're sectioned, like they're these gray ones that went on the wall too. These are the like the chef's kiss right here. This is full metal. I mean, and I'll hold it up, but don't change the image. But this is it, man. This is these mugs. Look, the stickers from the wall are still on these mugs. This is a piece of historic memorabilia coming from Bank of America Stadium after the renovations. Each month, we're going to continue to help or reward our fans for being so loyal to us. Throughout, we're going to do it the third Tuesday. Sometimes we have to move it around a little bit. There's multiple ways to enter it. You could have entered not a bazillion ways, but by following on Kick, subscribing. We want to help you guys out. We're going to do it right now. And we need you guys to help us on this because I paid a bunch of money for this giveaway software. This is like irritating to me. But I was like, man, I cannot count these reposts, these retweets, like whatever. So go to Gleam. Well, we dropped I got that was the barcode. When you see this in the show, you see it. I'll pin it a lot of times in my Twitter, do all the different things. I'm going to hit draw winner right here and see what we get right here.
Let's go.
Draw
ready
winner.
to win some swag. Let's get it.
Let's go. Oh, this is cool. I can say no repeat winners. You are going to love it. Tonight is a night for family. My son, 32 on the on the ACT, called me up. He's like, oh, because he's so modest. I was like, you will get it, bro. You will crush it. You got it. You got it. This is like the second time take it, third time take it. Got it. Big move. Well, now it's time to award my bastard son a prize.
Oh, shit.
Kevin Boshoven, you're the winner of the C3 September giveaway. Family. Tonight is a night of family and children and young players. So happy. Kev, coming to the wedding. Fuck, I still haven't RSVP'd technically. I know I got the invitation, but I am definitely coming because I got that weekend, no kids, and I have to support my children. I got my kids that I recognize legally. I don't have, so I might as well go spend the weekend with my bastard son. Fantastic news right there. Look ahead. I'll go ahead and start getting the giveaway. Oh, by the way, he didn't just get that historic memorabilia. He got the Fan Cave sign and the Voice of Panther Nation t-shirt. Kev, hit me up about the sizes because if this size don't work, I might have a different shirt. Might not be as cool. That will work for you. Let's go, Cody. back to the show.
Would you like to give a little shout out to Underdog Fantasy?
Whoa! So now we were giving away prizes there. Maybe it's time to make some money, right?
Oh yes.
Maybe it's time to make some money by helping. Look, you love football. You know you have football knowledge, and you can play daily fantasy football sports. And the place to do it is Underdog. I'm telling you right now, football's back and we're 3 weeks in now. The Panthers are crushing it. We're winning. You're winning. Fans are winning. It's the best place to make picks and win money all season long. It's easy. You just download the app. You select players that you like. You can do NFL. You can even now it's hockey season's coming right here. You can win up to 5,000 times your cash, and you can play for as little as $1. Right now, you can drop. These are popular picks right here. Popular options and entries. DK Metcalf, Minnesota, 50.5 receiving yards. I'm going higher on this one. Trey Benson, James Conner's out for the Arizona Cardinals. Division matchup. The Arizona Cardinals are not a bad team. They're not great yet. They're okay, but they lost to a division rival. Now they're trying to stay in that division hunt. Trey Benson, 60.5 rushing yards. I like to hire on this one. Cody, they download the Underdog Fantasy Football app. They use that promo code on the screen, C3P, and they can get, with $5, they can score $50 in bonus funds. Give me one more. I'll let you guys pick this one. Tell me, Hawkinson with Carson Wentz playing Pittsburgh's defense, 34.5. Make sure you say higher or lower. Don't use those other words. And Mason, the running back, but I think Aaron, the other running back is hurt. 78.5 versus Pittsburgh. You guys, CK, y'all jump in, but make sure you say higher, lower, higher, lower. Those are the words you get to use.
I really couldn't even tell you. This team is so unpredictable with what they're going to be. I don't even know if I'm comfortable saying a number here or even one of those two. I'm going to say higher for Hawkinson and lower for Mason.
I like the lower for Mason because I think that the Pittsburgh defense tries to clamp down on the run and put the ball in Carson Wentz's hands. Cody, you got something on this?
So if you know anything about Carson Wentz, he has had multiple teammates in the past say that he has almost an insistence upon targeting tight ends. Yep. So you have to hit the higher on TJ Hawkinson. It's almost a must at this point.
This is hold on, I gotta get you this starting QB teams. If we could make a entry for Underdog and they have a special for the C3P promo code, how many what would you say, higher or lower, for teams in the last 6 years that Carson Wentz has started for? 4.5 is the number. Make sure you say higher or lower.
Higher. Isn't it like 6 teams now?
It's 6. He started for the Eagles in 20. The Colts.
Wait. Let me see if I can name them all off,
Okay.
right?
All right.
Okay. He's played for the Philadelphia Eagles. He's played for the Indianapolis Colts. Mm-hmm. He's played for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yep.
He's played for the Minnesota Vikings.
Yep. All right. Now there's 2 more.
2 more. He's played for the Rams.
Yes. Oh, you're
the
one
Rams.
away. You're one
I'm
away.
1 away, dude.
Not Buffalo, but another team that the Panther players love to go to.
That the Panther players love to go to.
Yeah.
You're gonna tell me, and I'm gonna be like, damn it, dude.
Do the Haka. Yes, Washington is number 6.
Oh, I forgot that he went to the Commanders. Damn, dude.
Do
I was
not
close.
make
I got
it,
5 out of 6.
The Panthers got to keep winning so that over that more than is not the Panthers next year as a bridge quarterback. No Russell, no, none of that, guys. Make sure that you go to Underdog, download the app, make some money with your football knowledge, but you got to use that promo code C3P. It helps us. This is the last week of the promo, so get in when you can get it. Cody, make sure. Let's go ahead and hit the
See operates. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Offer not valid in Maryland, Michigan, New Jersey, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. In New York, call the 24/7 Hope line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
All right, thank you, Underdog.
Thanks for Underdog.
Go, let's rock, man. We are doing great. We're giving away stuff. We're making money.
Yes, sir.
We're having fun here. We've got guests. We got the best fans. Families winning. Make sure you sub up to the podcast or number, not numbers, but look, it's really been happy. Look, is subscribers. We have the best family. Our subscriber to view ratio is incredible. So we don't have the biggest, but once you subscribe, you become part of the family. So many C3 super fans in the chat. Thank you so much. $1.99 a month can help us. Thank you for anybody that's donated, but thank you most for your time. Smash the thumbs up button, subscribe. We're on Facebook, Kick, everywhere you go. Just a little reshare helps us grow, and that's my shame for the game. Cody, let's go.
Yeah, man. So right now, the absolute legend known as Teteroa McMillan is tied in the NFL for the most big-time plays. He's tied with Puka Nacua and Jackson Smith and Jigba, as Gabe McDonald alluded to earlier when we interviewed him. Boys, I just wanted to take a moment to continue to spotlight T-Mac. He doesn't yet have a touchdown to his name, but every single game you see how comfortable the relationship between Bryce Young and T-Mac is. There is already such a high level of trust between those two, and it really does seem like we might have a superstar on our hands and potentially a top 5 receiver in the NFL, boys. Tell me that isn't fucking awesome, and that the Panthers haven't deserved this, right? Especially after Jonathan Mingo, who was such an utter bust, Kelvin Benjamin, who started well but then ended up being such a disappointment. DJ Moore was an incredible player, but could never quite hit the high marks that Steve Smith did. And, we're still wondering about Xavier Legette and what he's capable of doing. He will probably be back this week, but T-Mac has proven himself to be worth the 8th overall pick that the Panthers spent on him.
Hey, if you're going to compare him to an elite NFL wide receiver, who would you compare him to mostly right now? Because I know coming in, he had the Mike Evans moniker that everybody was like, he's like Mike Evans, big, tall, can jump and catch the ball. Seeing him in this so far, these 3 games, does he remind you of anybody at all? Like, who would you compare him to?
I mean, right now it's still very early. I don't dislike the Mike Evans comparison, if I'm being honest, but also I would probably say maybe like an AJ Green for the Cincinnati Bengals a long time ago, and what he's been able to do. I think that would be a good comparison. But yeah, I don't dislike the Mike Evans comparison.
Okay. Hey, if he turns out to be a Mike Evans, I'm totally cool with that. That's it's amazing. So,
I don't disagree.
You're listening to the C3 Panthers podcast. I am right now having trouble pairing my Bluetooth, Cody. I got to restart my Rodecaster real quick to try to get this to rock so we can play the calls. Keep it going right now.
Yeah, man. So real quick, let's talk about some of these things. And real quick, let me highlight this. David Screws with the $5 C3 bomb says we have imposes just like 2015. We can make a big push to the Super Bowl. Only time will tell. Keep pounding. We also have a couple of comparisons that you asked for, Greg. Crown Dog says Megatron. That's a pretty damn good one. Okay. Our boy JD says Justin Jefferson's. Jeff R says still Mike Evans. Cardiac Cat also says Megatron, Calvin Johnson. So, dude, when you're drawing those kind of comparisons after 3 weeks, that's
Good
damn
names.
good if you do say so ourselves. But I wanted to go back to Robert Hunt. The Carolina Panthers could be without Robert Hunt for the rest of the 2025 season after a bicep surgery. Hunt went down in week 2 with torn biceps tendons. The concerns were immediate, and the former second-round pick is now expected to be out for an extended period. Canales revealed that the lineman had successful surgery to repair the issue, but didn't seem too optimistic about a return at any stage during the 2025 campaign. It says it's going to be a long time. We're looking at maybe end of the season type of return, but again, it'll just depend on his recovery process. Boys, my question is about Chandler Zavala. He didn't play that bad against Atlanta. He didn't play the best, but he also wasn't terrible. What confidence do you have in Chandler Zavala being able to uphold that right guard position in the absence of Robert Hunt?
I mean, based on everything that happened this last week, we really have no option. I mean, do we have anything behind him?
That's the key. It's Brady Christensen or him, and it's a step back, Greg, but is, like you said, no option.
Yeah.
So this was a guy. Yeah, go ahead, CK.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a major hit, man. I think that it was Zavala may not have been as much of a liability as we were expecting, but to say he wasn't a liability would be false, in my opinion. I saw him get pushed back like he was, just playing junior high against college players in that one run against where Rico Dowdle got tripped up by Zavala's foot. So I'm still concerned. I still have some pretty major concerns when it comes to them.
Cody, it's a good time to take some calls.
Let's do it, brother.
Queued up.
All right, man. Right now we're going to the longest running segment on the longest running Panthers podcast. The number is 252-228-5098. Leave your message and let us know what the C3 Legion is feeling about this Panthers team.
So what are your thoughts on catcalling?
Yeah, it's pretty. You shouldn't do that to somebody.
And how did that make you feel?
Very uncomfortable.
So how do you think catcalling makes the person feel?
It feels good, like.
Who's that cat sitting in the back corner with his face buried in his nose? Who's that kid that can use one?
What's going on, everybody? It's me, C-Dog 1983 TV. Whenever you come in here, can you please hit the like button? Can you please subscribe to the great content? The C3 Podcast is the longest running Panthers podcast on YouTube. 13 years strong and counting. They go live every Tuesday. They got the free for all every Friday. They got the Madden simulation on Saturday. They got the game recap every fucking Sunday. Or if it's a Thursday night game, after the Thursday night game, or Sunday night game, or a Monday night game recap, like the 49ers this season. But real quick, man, that real quick, man. Let me start with this. Excel, you can pack your shit and get the fuck out of goddamn out of Charlotte. I don't give a fuck where you go. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a fuck where you go. You know what I'm saying? They can release this motherfucker. We don't need him. T-Mac is our number one. I'm ready to see Jimmy Horn. ETN, you done fumbled 2 times already. ETN, I need ETN on the fucking bench. Activate Jimmy Horn. Let Jimmy Horn do the punt returns. Now we got speed on the punt returns, and I got speed on offense for Bryce. Everybody talking about we don't go deep. We don't have a deep threat. Oh, Bryce don't throw deep balls. Put Jimmy out there to give Bryce Young a deep threat. But Excel, I don't give a fuck what happened to him. I'm done with Excel. He can fucking go. Period. Bryson Tremaine came out there, played better. T-Mac played better. Whoever, Hunter Renfro, Hunter Renfro and Bryce just not on the same page right now. But as soon as they get on the same page, Hunter Renfro is going to be fucking cooking. We can let Excel go and we'll be just fucking fine. Now, real quick, this defense. Easy E, motherfucking Evero, aka Easy E, had this motherfucking
Let's
defense
go.
motherfucking lit Sunday. You hear me? Everything, man. J.C. Horn was pressing all fucking game. Look, man. Hey, hey, man. Hey, the defense was fucking flying around, man. Evero was in his fucking bag Sunday, doing shit that he ain't done since he's been here because he had the fucking personnel. But now you got the personnel. Yeah, you could do a lot with the defense. But man, one particular play when Michael Penix threw the interception to Mike Jackson, we only had one defensive lineman in the game, which was Derek Brown. Everything else was fucking pass rusher standing up. It was fucking magnificent, man. Fucking magnificent, man. Easy E, Evero was in his fucking bag. Evero ain't going nowhere. Hey, defense is fucking lit. Real quick, man. Hope everybody have a great fucking week. It's a great day. Anytime we beat the fucking second ass Falcons,
Let's go.
So I've been having me a great fucking week all week with these.
All right, T-Dog, we're going to come back to you guys. Anything to say before I go to the next call? All right, we're going to rock, roll, keep going.
It's showtime. Lou from Fort Myers.
What up, Lou?
It's victory Monday, bro. Let's go, dog. Let's go. This offense looks so much better without Xavier Legette. I had to be the first one to say. You took out Xavier Legette, adding Bryce Young, even though he had like two small little catches. That put a smile on my face. I knew right after Bryson Tremaine caught the ball, he's balling. Bryson Tremaine looks nice out there. Keep it in there. I will say, this defense was doing good. Like, really, really good, and it's surprising. I feel like this game had to happen because somebody was going to get fired if we lost this week. If we lost this week, someone was getting fired. Either Bryce was getting benched, Evero was gone, Canales or whatever his buddy Isaac and the OC would be gone. Somebody was getting fired. This game right here saved somebody's job. I don't know whose job it saved, but somebody's job got saved. Shout out Penix for shitting the bed. I had him on my fantasy because I honestly thought they would go up. But I wasn't expecting this 30 ball and a goose egg with it. I mean, Charles Swift-Wade looked good. The rooks, both of the rooks, Human Melon, Scourton looked good. The whole team looked good. And I just hope we can carry this momentum to next week. But love every single one of y'all, man.
Appreciate you, Lou.
Pounding.
Keep pounding. Love the energetic, happy phone calls compared to the misery that we're used to.
I know. It's nice to not be in therapy, but to be celebrating, having a party together. Here we go.
All right, Panther people. Time to snap out of it. On the New England, baby. This is Preston from Hickory. And
what up,
I tell you what I really want to see in this week two. I mean, I was hoping that was how we would play in week one, but what I'm looking for in this week 4 matchup is another fast start on the road. Defense, just do everything you did last week. Everything you just did Sunday, do that. That was amazing. I mean, guys were wrapping up, guys were tackling, guys were getting after it. We saw real team defense, and we were playing good complementary football. Offense was taking advantage of the defense and what they were doing. So I like that. I love the fact that the defense was giving Bryce Young short fields and giving this offense short fields and opportunities to put points on the board. I love that. If that's how we have to do it,
love it.
With a run game and a good defense, then you know what? That's what Canales promised us anyway, right? So, again, on to New England. Xavier Legette, I don't know if he's going to be in this week. I don't know if he's still going to be dealing with that hamstring. But, I mean, honestly, if I was Canales, if I saw anything like not getting 2 feet down in bounds, like a regular NFL receiver, anything like that, you get one shot with me. You get one drive. I'll give you that. You get one drive. After that drive, if you do anything that doesn't resemble a freaking professional football player in the National Football League, then you're done. Bryson Tremaine is obviously showing he wants it more. To me, I don't know. I don't want to just shit on the guy. I'm not trying to go absolute. I'm not one of those guys that, goes fire the coach or let go of his player. I mean, we got to give it time, but I mean, give him a shot. But honestly, I like Bryson Tremaine better. Again, week 4, Ed Canales, he actually showed me something. Evero actually showed me something. Everybody's eating crow about Evero this week. But they actually showed me something. Now we need to see it on the road. I'm really coming around to, and I like Canales anyway, but I'm really coming around to liking how things are building up, how we're building up towards becoming building that winning culture in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Yes, sir.
I love that.
He's got a short
That's
part
all
2
for
to
me,
his
boys.
call right here.
I guess my call got cut off. Preston from Hickory again. But yeah, again, on the New England, I want to see Canales and that play calling. I want to see T-Mac. I want to see T-Mac have a big game. Of course, I think what we need to do is play situational football. We do what's best to win the game. Speaking of New England, that's how Belichick has done it for years. He's going to play the team the best way. He's going to play the opponent the best way to actually beat that team. He's going to play to their weakness. So I think that's our identity. Hopefully we have an identity now. But last game it looked like it was run the ball and play amazing defense. So if that's what we're doing, that's what we're doing, and I love it. But again, on the New England boys, keep pounding.
Keep pounding.
Hey,
Boys, what do we think? Oh, go ahead, Greg.
Well, I was going to say, all that being said, do you think that Canales has opened up the playbook completely yet? Like, is there still stuff we haven't seen?
Well, I think they're just trying to run an efficient offense, but I do think that the playbook hasn't really been opened all the way up yet. I think that once you start to see Xavier Legette finally, and I know a lot of people are dumping on him and, giving him a certain amount of time, but, I likened him to Quentin Johnson for the Chargers. Like, that guy is on year 3, and he is finally showing the potential that they drafted him for over there in Los Angeles. So I'm not completely giving up on Xavier Legette. I refuse to refer to him as extra lotion like some people in Panther fandom. And I do think that once this offense finds ways to incorporate Xavier even more and finally get him the ball after being able to run the football more effectively, I do think you are going to see more tricks in Dave Canales' bag.
Yeah. I think I don't know if it gets to be super like creative or not. I still think that they aren't doing a lot of motion, which is worrisome. I think I'm hopeful that we're going to start to see this open up a little bit, because I still do feel like this is a bit of a predictable offense. Now, that might feel like that because we aren't executing like in an explosive way on a lot of these plays, but for right now, it just feels pretty vanilla. And I'd have to assume that has something to do with the fact that they're really trying to ease everybody into the season and not tilt their hand on what's in the playbook this early in the season.
All right, let's get back into these calls.
Yo, what's going on, T3? It's Anthony from Charlotte. Hope you boys are having a good Tuesday, man. Just wanted to call in, give my thoughts. I didn't really have time last week and kind of look ahead the season. So, dominant win, man. Just it feels good to destroy a defensive opponent like that.
Yes, it does.
Michael Penix looked confused. Didn't go through his reads correctly. It's like his internal clock was sped up.
Inaccurate.
And in terms of the Panthers, I think there's a lot to build on this win. I think you finally saw a more complete game of football than we've seen in a very long time, and complimentary. My whole thing is, can we build on this? And I think there's stuff that the offense needs to clean up. Now, granted, I also think the offense, that's why Dave just called every straight run plays at the end of the game was just because we were up and we were controlling the clock, so you didn't really want to risk anything. That's all fine. But for an offensive mind, I told Cody this on Twitter. The offense has been pretty underwhelming to me. Don't feel like we're scheming our guys open that well. The screen plays, I don't know. Just kind of my honest thoughts. I love that we got the win, man. Listen, I'm happy this team proved me wrong last week where I picked the Falcons to win. And guys, people calling me haters because I picked the Falcons to win. I'm sorry. If the Panthers showed me shit the first 2 weeks, then maybe I would have picked the Panthers. And this week they got to show me again. This isn't just a 1 week thing. Oh, we're a great team now. No, this team needs to come out here and build on this. This is the type of things I'm preaching. You got to start out and have a good September and October. And you look at the next 4 opponents. There is no reason why, if the way the team played yesterday, this team couldn't be 5-2. Really, that's what a lot of you, are telling me about this team now and how great the defense is, which the defense played awesome. You're seeing a lot from the rookies. Oh, bingo. What happens when you put in Princely and Nick? It's these are all things we knew. Derek Brown looks like a beast. Trevin Wallace looks a little confused still, not as lost though. So overall, great performance. T-Mac had some, tough catches. Just wasn't a good debut for him. I mean, if 50 yards is a bad day for him, we'll take that any day of the week. But yeah, let's beat New England to show that we're serious here. All right, Anthony from Charlotte, give me your thoughts. Keep
pounding. Boys,
he's 100% right.
Yeah, we just sort of, we made our preseason predictions, and I had them only winning 4 games this year. I think you guys were at somewhere around 9 or 10.
Me and CK both had 11 wins.
Yeah. So okay.
Yeah.
So, are you still on that same trajectory? And has this game changed what you think is capable? What you think the Panthers are capable of going forward for the rest of the season?
Honestly, 11 wins and 6 losses. So we're already 2 in. If we go 5-2 through the first 7 games, to the first a little over a third of the season, there's no reason why we can't win 11 games. Yeah, I'm still on it.
All right, you want to plow through? Let's plow through some more calls. Knock them out. Sorry, we love you guys.
Family, Panthers Nation. It's your boy Josh from Mass. What up,
what up, big Josh?
Go into the game.
Our boys got it done and then some. Good to see our boy Cody Lack got himself out to the game. He looks like a Red Lobster. Better get the boy a Cheddar Bay biscuit.
Love me some Cheddar Bays, baby.
Hopeful that we can look promising this coming week against the Patriots. Me and Nick Montero will be there. My wife and my brother coming. She's a Panthers fan. My brother, we're Massachusetts. He's a Pats fan. So hopefully that hour and a half, 2 hour drive home from Gillette Sunday afternoon, we're just dunking on him. Hopefully, with any luck. A lot of promising things, and I kind of saw the criticism of the light criticisms of Bryce coming, because he didn't look like he's looked better, but you got to remember they're in a situation where he doesn't have to be Superman, and I get it. We're a lot of us are still hanging on to those memories of the Cam Newton era where the whole offense was Cam. But, you know, offenses like that don't tend to last. And obviously it didn't last with him. So, you know, good to see it be a balanced team effort. Good to see it, you know, be a all the way around game rather than just, you know, one side. Now, that's not to sell what the defense did short. The defense did some tremendous things.
It's a
Special
great
teams
call right
outside
here.
of that muff punt did pretty good. There's a lot to take away from this. You know, and I think the Patriots are going to be a handful this Sunday, man. You know, they're coming off a loss that I think a lot of the fan base up here they believe it's a game they should have won. You know, but they're having their own teething pains. They're having their own growing pains. They're having their own problems. You know, believe their number one corner, Christian Gonzalez, is going to be out again. You know, there's a lot of things in that defense that are going to be exploitable. But I think it's a game that we can win. We can definitely win that game. It's just a matter of you know, what's our defense going to do against them, and what's our defense going to do against their offense. I don't know. Tale as old as time right there. I just come right in on my big white horse, Captain Dumbass Obvious here. But, you know, overall, great to get the dub this week. Fuck them birds, yo. There ain't no team I like beating more.
Fuck them birds.
Yeah, I agree.
I'll be pretty pumped. Josh from Mass, I'm out of time. Keep pounding.
Keep pounding. Our Massachusetts brethren.
All in the night for me so far. Nick and Josh going to the game again in New England. I love that. These guys went to the preseason games. Like, I love this. Is like how cool it is to have. And we haven't heard from our across the pond people in a while. They're about to be coming back. You know what I'm saying? It's so late for them to call. You know what I'm saying? It's been so. But it's always wonderful to me, and I think the podcast is always a great place for and in the wake of the Steve Smith stuff, and excuse me, and this is where the internet has just been so fantastic for the fan experience, is that how hard it is to get the good, not like the direct content, player interviews, stuff like that. If before the internet really, and before major media networks started like really pushing into that, is that it was such a Charlotte local getting that content. And to me, I love that this podcast is like a conduit for people who are not in that region, you know, and that's how they typically have engaged with their content, is like that's how. So I love that. I love to hear, and there's so many great stories because the Panthers are a newer organization. I love to hear people that became football fans and why they chose a team, whether it be Cam, right, is like, oh, we got that, or those fresh unis, the colors, and now you got that black helmets, bro. How many fans? I mean, if we could just get some wins, baby, we can get some young kids just picking us on freshness. Let's go to the next call. John B.
I do want to say one thing, though.
Ahead.
I do. So, you know, again, me nitpicking, but I still do wish that if we did make the helmet the official black helmet, I want them to do our logo. So whenever they do the black helmet, it's an all blue logo, but they need to get the white fangs.
C3?
No, I'm talking about I'm talking about the Panther helmet with the Panther logo on the side, the black helmet. It's an all blue logo. But if you actually make it our normal logo with the white fangs, to me, or on top of the black helmet, that would be absolutely fucking fire. You wear the blue jerseys earlier in the season, and then late when it gets cold, that's when you go to the all black, baby. I'm telling you, man.
The argument for not going all black or the black, you know, has been the heat, right? And I mean, heat is a real deal. Look
what we did this Sunday. It's perfect.
But yeah, my buddy, my best friend one of my best friends is my trainer. He's a Jacksonville Jags fan, right? And they drove to the game. Him and two Carolina fans drove from Greenville, North Carolina, and I think it was like 87 or 90 there. He said it was so hot. And this mug loves the heat. Like, he is not one of them people that complains about, but the humidity, he was like, dude, my pants did not dry until we got back to North Carolina. So the argument for the all black, like the black, is I think the black helmets are manageable. And CK, there's got to be some sort of cooling technology that you can put inside those helmets to where we get the black helmet. You don't go black clothing. We need.
Well, I mean, you got the heat part is only going to be a factor for what, another month?
Yeah, but like, is the helmet
New England? I know,
the
but
helmet,
I mean, like,
we can get through the heat. There's got to be some sort of breathing technology, cooling technology, not technology as like an air conditioner or something, but like the foam, the this and that we can pull off a black helmet and blue jerseys.
I would agree. There's going to be something out there. I just don't know if it's worth the cost for a month or two of hot football before it starts to turn into
$1 zillion industry. Come on, man.
Know.
We need the freshest. Look, at black helmets, we can pull it. I understand the heat argument for going out there on a Sunday and at 1 o'clock and it being 90 degrees, you got black shirt, black pants. That makes sense. It's like, no, that's why you go white and like this and that. But why the black helmet? Come on. I mean, we can pull that off from.
And by the way, the Jacksonville Jaguars do it. They're further south than us, and they have black helmets.
Atlanta
So it's like, what are we?
They suck, though.
Yeah. It's like, what are we doing? Like the helmets are fine. There's technologies that you can implement to cool people off inside the helmets. Wear the blue jerseys to start the season at home through the first 6 or 7 weeks. Then we go and transition to black. And by the way, then it'll
blue and black, blue pants, black shirt, black hat, and go all black. Oh,
can I ask though? And I kind of missed this. Like, why do we stop using silver pants? Like,
I don't miss them. I don't even want them.
Hey, no. I thought the silver pants, black top, I thought looked great. I think you do that with the black helmets, it'd be an amazing look. You know?
Maybe so. To me, I wouldn't mind if the silver just completely went away. I don't love the silver.
We don't ever use it anymore. It's always white pants or black pants. We never use silver pants anymore.
Well, remember that Jerry Richardson, he loved the silver, and he really loved the look that the Raiders
original
had. Yeah, he liked the Raiders and how they looked with their silver helmets. That's why our helmets were silver and why they are silver. But
all right, I'm gonna play the next call and then I'm gonna pull up some pictures from this game. Just some stills. We can't get demonetized for a still picture.
I got some too from the Panthers Twitter account.
TK,
yeah, just
Tony
I want to see the
Dunn,
jersey.
Cody
Let's put
Lack,
it up so we can.
The C3 Legion, General Greg, the Stat Daddy. Salute.
Oh, Dilla, what's up?
It's a Hope Dilla checking in real quick on a Tuesday evening. Man, I'm still thrilled, y'all, about that win we had over Atlanta. And I wanted to bring something up. You know, they were talking about how we keeping receipts, right? How we keeping receipts, how all of the NFL analysts, not one picked Carolina to win, keeping receipts, leaving ransom notes, baby. Latham Ransom, laying the wood out there. But let me tell y'all what keep pounding really means to me today. After our rookie kicker, Ryan Fitzgerald's amazing performance, and knowing that Young Ho Koo, yes, Young Ho Koo, who got cut from them Falcons, the same Young Ho Koo that in our stadium last year, y'all remember what he said?
Yeah.
He looked at the keep pounding sign and had the nerve to say, keep sucking. Well, who's sucking now? Young Ho Koo, you're not even on the team anymore. And your old team, the Atlanta Falcons, got beat 30-0 in the same stadium that you had the nerve to say, keep sucking. Nah, Ryan Fitzgerald, who about broke a rookie kicker record, he said, you keep sucking, Young Ho Koo. I'm fired up. Keep pounding, baby.
Keep pounding, baby.
Keep pounding.
Let's go. Shout out Hope Dilla, baby.
These jerseys here, I'm gonna put one up too. Let me see if mine will go up here easily. Present.
Let me put mine down because it never does.
Yeah. Fresh. Now, could you go blue on blue?
That's what I'm saying.
Blue,
too.
blue,
The-
like blue plant.
blue pants, blue jerseys, black helmet.
Yep.
Bro, I'm telling
I like
you,
that.
bro.
Yeah.
Telling you, bro.
All right, let's
I mean,
go to John.
I like the black and blue that we had last week. So sorry.
Yeah,
Let me,
I mean, that's good, but we're talking like the Heat. You know, I mean, again, and a lot of people said this was very. I think it was Atlanta that played their first game outside. So I mean, and it wasn't Atlanta fans talking about it. I don't think necessarily, but like it was an observation that they had been inside the whole time, and now the heat was a factor. Also, interestingly, as we just celebrate the Panthers, the Washington Commanders have struck a deal to build a new stadium.
Yeah.
And they're going to have a roof. And you know what the owner said? He wants the players like grass. He's going to have grass.
Come on,
Think
Tepper.
about that. Think
Come
about
on,
that.
Tepper. Your
Well,
move.
you know what? Tepper is a money man, and it's about the money. So he wants that. He wants a dome. You know it. You know he does. He wants it to be. They did not take away the grass, but for any reason, then that they need to have a concert there on Friday night or Saturday night, and then have the field ready the next day, and the grass can't handle it. Because we go back to 2015. I think we had that year. We didn't even know how cool that year was going to be. We went to training camp. We did all of this, and we went on a stadium tour, and they would not let you. They would not let you walk out on the field. They said no one can walk out on the field. We'll take you everywhere we can go, but the grass is sacred. And so the reason the grass is not there is because it's harder to manage, and you can't have you can't have the soccer team playing, or the football, the soccer team playing the concert, and it recover well, you know. And
yeah, but there's a bunch of other teams that have remedied this, like the Arizona Cardinals. Like they can literally retract their grass out of the stadium. Like, I know that'd be hard for us to do at this point because the stadium wasn't built for that.
Can we have a floating floor?
I don't know.
You know,
There are soccer stadiums that do this in Europe. That they will literally fold. They will literally fold the grass into like compartments underneath the stadium, and then it's hard concrete underneath, and you can have all sorts of concerts and stuff.
But how would that work? Because of the grass, I mean, is it a specific type of grass that they're using that's allowing it to not need sunlight? Like
I don't know.
Like that.
But once it folds up, they have lights and sprinklers that keep the grass watered and lit, even when it's not on the field.
So the question would be those. I think that those stadiums, if I had to guess, are built that way, like that they were built with that in mind. Correct. So we're back at square one with needing to have to build a brand new stadium for them to be able to do all the things they want to do.
But if we build a stadium, CK, and you don't do that, then it just gave away the whole point.
Yeah.
Hey, why has no one brought up this? Why can't turf be better than it is? Like, it's 2025. You're telling me with all the different scientific breakthroughs and textures and materials that we can't make something that's
like better than grass? It's called instead of what is the meat? Remember the meat that wasn't
like
meat?
the genetically grown meat.
Even the one that was just veg, and it was what was it, Greg? You probably know the name of it. Remember they had the not meat.
Yeah, the Impossible Burger.
Impossible Burger. Like, can you not have Impossible Grass?
Yeah, where's the Beyond
better
Grass?
Than meat. It's better than grass.
Yeah, where's
better than Bermuda?
I can't believe it's not grass.
We need a better than. That's the name of my company. Better than Bermuda.
Tony, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Why did you say Greg? Like, is Greg like? Are you a vegetarian?
No, because Greg is gonna be like, because he probably eats. Look,
I'm all meat, man. Like,
yeah,
there's no way I'm ever going vegetarian. Like, No way.
I just thought it was
I'm
funny.
actually
You
sitting here
turned to
planning
Greg
my-
for that answer.
I know.
Yeah,
No,
I'm just
Greg-
sitting here planning my meal plan for the week. So
Greg is the conspiracy guy, so he knows that all the meat
That makes
is
sense.
grown to give you all sorts of cancers and shit.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
Let me ask: do we know what the issue is with turf? Like why? Like that's the first thing about.
It's
Maybe
like
just
concrete
better
underneath, is what I've heard. I mean, it's just like you're falling on a hard
But
surface.
think about what
It just
AstroTurf
hurts.
was in like the 80s and the 90s. It was
Carpet.
It
Carpet,
was
pretty much, yeah.
it was literally concrete and then that like putt grass on top.
Mhm.
Right. And then there is a higher percentage of injuries that come with any of the false turfs.
I don't.
so far.
I don't think that's true though.
I
don't think
that the studies
because-
that I've saw, CK, and then Cam Ward, rookie quarterback, who is the guy that gets up at 5 o'clock in the morning, watches tape, really well spoken. He said it's funny that we practice on grass, but we don't play on grass.
Yeah, I saw that too.
I thought it was a cool comment. Yeah, find those stats for us. Is that because here, CK, I do think it's kind of like we can find there's stats, statistics, and damn lies. We're gonna find statistics that can verify and do anything. It's kind of like does a football team really create the economic development that it costs? Like you can find studies that say it doesn't, but players like grass. They like grass.
Yeah, the players do for sure. And I think that before 2023, the data wasn't showing anything. I think now, like even the NFL Players Association, saying that they indicate that grass is significantly safer. I don't really know. I can't really find them citing anything as far as like what that looks like, but
I would
that's coming.
CK, I point to this is that like you look at Europeans, right? Is that they won't even eat meat basically that's made in America, right? I mean, like they're the GMOs, the stuff. The Europeans are very, and you look at, I mean, and it is true, like the folic acids that are being put on this enriched products. Like you don't have these problems. Italian people eat bread all the French people walk around with a sword of bread in their backpack and they're not fat. Like, I mean, but we have all these
And hair under their armpits for the women.
No, man. Them are stylish, bro. Them Parisian women are looking good. The thing is, though, is that we have demonized carbs in our society because of because of a weight issue. But and Greg probably knows about all of this, is like the gluten allergies. It turns out that you're not really allergic to gluten. It's the folic acids, it's the enrichment, it's the things they're spraying on these things. And that's why I buy all of my pasta. And I'm Italian. I buy my pasta from Trader Joe's because it's all imported from Italy directly. And it just says this. It just says the only ingredient is wheat. Durham, Durham wheat, Durham, whatever it is, Seminola, that type of stuff.
But they say that about a lot of that foreign food, that they don't have so much of the additives in their food that like just makes it taste like shit that is meant to keep the shelf life.
Here's my point about
we want things to
European.
last longer in America.
Yeah,
it's
so my
almost
point
like
of-
we should get somebody in the government that wants to change the way we do our food system in America. It's crazy to think about that, isn't
Or
it?
we just don't let big business rule us so much, right? And we have a little of substance to our life. But the point that I was bringing up Europeans is that we have the Charlotte FC, which are like they're on this tear, right? They were almost going to have a record-setting win streak and all of this. And when certain teams come, they make them put grass out. It's part of their player, or no, they don't play on turf. So they don't they don't have the enriched pasta and they play on real grass.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Maybe because eating a steak that isn't pumped full of antibiotics is not terrible for you, right?
Yeah.
Let's go to the next call. John B. Jenkins here.
John B.
Hi, John B. Jenkins here, calling in with another update on alternative
Go
football
fish.
around the world. This week, I'm calling in with an update on my beloved Canadian football game. They have the commissioner came out this week and announced that they will be implementing some rule changes for the coming season next year. So the Canadian football game is a little weird. Right now, they have a 110-yard field. It's also wider than our NFL field. and the end zones are 20 yards deep with the goalpost at the very front of the end zone. So the goalpost kind of can act as a 13th man out there. Yes, I said 13th because they have 12 men on each side of the field. Anyway, the proposed rule changes would shorten the field to a 100-yard field. They would keep the same larger width of the Canadian field, but they would also then move the goalpost back to NFL regulations. They would keep the 20-yard deep end zone, but now the goalpost would be in the middle of the football field. So that was just something interesting I thought I'd share with you guys. It has caused a lot of uproar up north. They do not want anything to do with the American game. They love their Canadian game. And I will say I've come to love it as well. It's a very unique take on football. Anyway, moving down south to our beloved game of American football. How about them Carolina Panthers, y'all?
Let's go.
What is it? Dilworth Grill on their sign said it best when they said that felt like 2015. I mean, I haven't had as much fun rooting for the team in like 10 friggin' years. And a little side note, Kevin Donnelly, I live in Chapel Hill, and Kevin Donnelly lives up here as well. He's on the radio broadcast team and shops at the same grocery store. I've seen him a couple different times, and I always kind of picked his brain on this or that with football. And so asked him about the Panthers and what he thought. And he said that he thinks that the slow start is due to their lack of playing time in the preseason. So there you go. Kevin Donnelly thinks that the team should have played more, or at least gotten more reps in the preseason. So anyway, that's former Panthers take on that. So that's all I've got for right now. As always, guys, I'll keep you updated on alternative football news when I hear it. But until then, keep pounding Carolina Panthers. Keep pounding Panthers Frosh-Law. Go Fish. Let's go Hillsboro Hogs. That's my son's hockey team. And keep pounding the Panthers Podcast. John B. Jenkins.
Keep pounding.
Let's go.
Go Fish and go Hillsboro Hogs, baby. And also, I do like this side story that is developed with
Dilworth feud.
Grill, yeah, but dude, they show love when it's necessary.
I like that.
That game felt like 2015. It absolutely did.
Thanks.
So you see, man, even they know how to show love when they tried to do so.
John B, man, I'm not too far. I'm in Greenville. We need to meet halfway for lunch sometime and hang out, man. Love to always commune with this community. We'll go to the next call.
What's up, gentlemen? What a wonderful week to finally have a W in the score column. We talked about, I heard you guys talking about it after the game. I don't know if the Panthers needed this more than the fans, or the fans needed it more than the Panthers. But man, it feels good. I don't know. I'm looking over how do we duplicate this? And I was looking at Bat Daddy would be proud, looking at the stats. Bryce is 7-24 now in starting games. And in his 7 wins, he is averaging 16.5 completions with just over 22 attempts. So I think the writing is on the wall, Mr. Canales. If you don't want to be 5-12 this year, run the motherfucking ball.
Run it.
Also, is averaging less than 1 turnover a game in those wins. So, man, football is easy if you can just follow that recipe. I'm hoping this is a good turnaround. I didn't need this team to win the division or even make the playoffs, but man, if they can have a few more games, put some things on tape looking like this, and just keep the season exciting, man. Tony, how bad was that 2 years ago? Just didn't even want to watch the game anymore.
I know. I mean, I was taking
Farmers
naps.
markets were fun all of a sudden. Anyway, glad guys keep up the great work. Keep pounding.
Thank you guys,
Love what
man.
you do.
So much good show. We're gonna
Pound it, brother.
We're powering through the calls. We got a lot of good show to go ahead. We're making good progress. Let's go to another call.
Hey guys,
Mr. Corral makes some how, aka Joey the Blind Panther. Are we supposed to get Jalen Coker back soon?
Yeah. I mean,
Dude, this is what our offense looks like without Jalen Coker. Oh my God. Will we be something special with Jalen Coker? Now, Jatavion Sanders supposed to be out multiple weeks now because he sprained his ankle. That always happens to us. Player has a breakout game, gets injured. That's just the story of the Panthers. I guess football in general, but it really happens to the Panthers a lot. But, oh my God, dude. The thought of Ted McMillan and Jalen Coker and Bryce Young just like, I don't even need hero ball. I don't even need him to look like Camp. If he can get the ball to T-Mac and Jalen Coker, great things can happen. And we saw that when he got the ball to T-Mac. He even got some other guys involved. He even got some rookie that I never heard of. Somebody, Mitchell, I don't know his name. Never heard the dude. Bryson Tremaine is a good number 3 behind T-Mac and Coker. XL's a bust. I hate to say it, but after the game that all the other...
I think it's too early, brother.
Most of the offense had without him. I think it's becoming clearer and clearer every game, but we don't really need XL, which I hate to say because he's such an endearing character. He's from Panther Nation. He's got this deep country accent, and he's a feel-good story. Kind of guy you want to like, but he just lets you down every time. You know, but they're probably going to keep him because he's great PR, you know. The overpriced brisket sandwich inspired by raccoon. Yeah, dude, no one's falling for that shit. But, yeah, man. I would love to see Jalen Coker in this offense. Especially if we get him back against a shit show like the Dolphins or the Cowboys, sans CD Lamb. Boy, I would love to beat that team. Oh, man. The Cowboys are probably the only team I hate as much as the Falcons. And that's saying.
It's understandable.
Anyway, guys.
Wow. Boys, look. I know amongst a subset of Panther fans, it's popular to just give up on XL. And listen, I was disappointed to the slow start of the season, but I'm not just about to give up on Xavier Legette yet. Like I've seen too many receivers turn it on. I don't think that he's anywhere near the type of receiver that Jonathan Mingo was. I'm just not there yet. I'm not going to be the one to be like, he's a bust. Wait until the end of this season, and if we're still having the same talks about him having negative yards and not being a real meaningful part to this offense, then we can have that discussion. But right now, it's just too fucking early for it, man.
Well, real quick, when you say he's not anywhere near the level of Jonathan Mingo, you mean Jonathan Mingo was way better than he is? Is that what you're saying?
He's saying
no. I'm not saying that he's as bad as Jonathan Mingo was.
Okay.
We had bingo, and that bingo card never even hit.
Yeah, we never fucking had to use it.
Well, here's my thing with XL. I don't know what he's going to be. He's obviously going to be a number 2 receiver in this team. He's not a number 1 guy. If he can excel as a number 2 receiver, that'll be awesome. The thing is, we've given Bryce so much grace. Why does Bryce Young get so much grace, and Jonathan Mingo, after having 2 bad games to start the season?
No. I mean, you meant XL.
XL. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Why are we ready to get rid of him? You know,
Greg he was traded up to get a first. You know, you traded
to get Bryce
and now, sure, but like, but at the same time, is that he's technically a first round pick. The reason is it's not that there's the grace is like this or that. I feel like when I'm in an argument with my ex-wife is like because I did that, because you did that, right? Is that the Panthers traded up to get him, whether he's not. So some people are like, look, is that he really wasn't a first round pick, right? It's like you could have got him in the second or third. That's one element, and he has not been good. is not like his actual rookie year was far better. And you're right, though, is 2 games in, and I'm with Cody, is that there's no reason to overhate. It's time to hope and to support, right? And not like what XL is gonna have to do is gonna have to earn it. Right.
No, I agree with that.
His
Yeah.
play's gonna have to make it. I think there is some problems, is like not problems, but like people are like, man, you could have had Lab McConkey.
That's the problem,
Yeah.
is like you're constantly going to be seeing, like, the thing that I think is the biggest issue with Xavier Leggett right now is, like, even in Bryce's struggles, there were times when you're like, okay, I can see it, right? I can see why he had some plays, he had some good shots. You know, he played really well against Green Bay in that first year, right? There were some we haven't seen that from Xavier Leggett. I don't even think there's one play I would point to where I'm like, oh my gosh, Xavier Leggett was a first-round draft pick.
That's right. You have the optic point of like is that there's and this a lot of this, Greg, is optics. Like, or at least last year it was. He didn't play well in weeks 1 and 2, right? I mean, it's just that simple. And some of that it wasn't just all him, right? I mean, there were times the ball was in the dirt. There's a good defensive play. We need context, right? But the world doesn't want context. The internet doesn't want context. They want to make a hero or a villain, make a decision, make an assertion, right? So, my issue with Xavier Leggett, it's not an issue, it's just this, is maybe it's a disappointment, is that he's the biggest motherfucking strongest dude eating possum and like corn fed, like all of this, and he doesn't play big.
Right.
You know, is like so all of this is that he ran this good 40 time in the combine, but he doesn't seemingly play fast. It takes some momentum. We haven't seen. I begged and yearned for this all last season. Is I want XL to mash a DB and run after the catch, you know, and we just haven't gotten it yet. So I think that, look, it's the people that are critical of XL. I think it's fair, right? It's like he hasn't done anything on the field. I mean, his rookie year, I think, was better than people gave him a little bit of credit for, but those optic plays where he could have had these big moments that would have created momentum and
the
stuff.
issue is like
support.
He wasn't like you're not right now with Tet, right? And I know it's hard to compare the two because you're talking about completely two different expectations coming into this game, into their careers. But like when Tet catches a ball, like a lot of times they're like balls that not many wide receivers in the league would be able to catch.
Right.
And he's coming down with them and he's looking right. You know, right. And you know, we have a year and 2 games of Xavier Leggett, not like even with the most basic like plays, like he's not able to catch it, right? For a first round draft pick, which again, I know he wasn't graded in the first round. We only traded up because of, you know, the fact that we get that fifth year option.
5 picks later, and then you get the 5th year option.
Yeah.
But also, but like again, just comparing him to Jonathan Mingo, which a lot of fans have done. Jonathan Mingo couldn't fucking get open to save his life. The dude had the slowest get off of any wide receiver that I've ever seen. Xavier Leggett gets open. That's why I'm not freaking out about him yet. And again, that's why I keep making the comparison to Quentin Johnson. Quentin Johnson for the Chargers wouldn't get open, but he was dropping passes. But there have been a few plays on 3rd down for XL where he was in the right spot at the right time, but just didn't do the toe drag. But
the toe drag is bad. There's moments he could have made it, Cody. Right? It's like
sure,
this is
but it's fixable.
League where it is about, and to Greg's point about what we talk about with Bryce, it's not about Bryce and me having a question. It's like he makes good throws. He does this. Like there's moments you see it. Like Cody CK said, there's stuff like this. But it's like you need the big moment, it's like you just did it. And there were last year, the Eagles, the Kansas City game, right? So the optics were bad on that. And I'm a defender, and Gonna shout out Broadway. Is it Broadway? Is it Broadway, Joe?
Yeah, Broadway.
Okay, is them Joe Namath up in here. Joe Namath is up in here in our chat. He is a big XL supporter and upset continuously about Panther fans with XL. What I would just say to you is, I think is Broadway. I think it's fair to believe in a person, to think that people are overcritical, that people are dumping on them, the media, this and that. It's an easy avenue. But I also think it's fair too for people to say that he didn't perform to the level that he needed to do. So he said this, and his comment was, "Tell me what y'all want XL to be at this point." And I won't even say an NFL comparison. You know what I want is, I want XL to be better than he was last week. And to my final comparison or comment to you, Greg, when you brought up Bryce. Bryce, I mean, there are some things I think that are ability issues, right? Is like the size, the strength, throwing on the toes, some different things. I saw that Justin Herbert throw. There was this throw in Denver where he was getting hit or about to get hit, and he made this throw on the run.
Bomb.
And it was like an impossible play.
Over the head of a defender, too.
Like, I mean, it was what
Herbert's
Cody used
him.
to talk about, and Cody has been on this a lot. You remember when Cody was on Josh Allen, right? Yeah. It's like, I mean, these are just special plays. I don't know. I think Bryce could be, I want Bryce to be our quarterback. I want him to succeed. I am not saying I don't need me to be right or wrong. Right. That's not what I want. And I'm going to say the same thing for XL. It's not about my opinion. That's the important part. I really want them to succeed. But I will say is, I don't think that Bryce has the physical skill set to do what I saw Justin Herbert do in that moment. Like, I mean, I think Bryce can be a very good quarterback. I don't even know if Tom Brady had the physical skill set to make that play that I saw Justin Herbert do, right? So I don't need XL to be that. I think that XL was played smaller than he is his size. Like everybody used to say that Steve Smith played bigger than he was. I think what I want is this is what I was going to, Greg. I think this is mental right now.
Got the yips.
Yeah, kind of like the yips is that I don't think it's about whether XL can be or is. I don't think he's bad. I don't think he is like, is that now there's this pressure, there's this talk, there's this, and it's like, and then the coaches, the team buys into it, the fans. So to Broadway, I'm actually with you, man. Like, I am an XL supporter. I'm not a hater by any means, but the real reality of the situation is that there's not a lot of opportunity in this league. And so you can go from a first round pick to then being on the outside, then to somebody replacing your job, right? And all of a sudden, and that's why I actually was not critical of him being in these videos and doing these commercials and selling the possum sandwich and stuff like this, is because, you know what? There's a lot of people that have been picked in the NFL in the first 3 rounds that are gone in 3 years. So I actually say make your money when you can make it right then. But really the comparison I would just say is that maybe Cody's onto something with the Quentin Johnson, right? We just want XL to be better. We want him to go out there and play like a dog.
I want him to be a Deebo Samuel.
The dog he is.
I want him to be prime Deebo Samuel. That's what I want. I mean, the dude was like, he's supposed to be a freak athletically, right? We've ran him in like any type of a sweep like one time or 2 times.
Into him though. He needs I don't know if he has the explosion, CK. And one more point, and keep going with that, is that he had one good year in college.
Yeah. He
had some things that went on, right? So is that it might not that be XL is good or bad or this or that. Maybe the Panthers overdraft and we have over expectations.
Yeah.
I think that's a fair point. Go ahead, Greg.
Well, I'll tell you too with the Quentin Johnson thing. I see what Cody's saying there, but I look at the Quentin Johnson thing as like he's never played with Keenan Allen and McClunky, whatever the guy's name is.
Yeah, but McConkey was the same draft pick. He's an under, like, you know what I'm saying? That's the thing is that, and this is where the draft heads go, Cody. This is why, I mean, Greg, is where I hate the draft, is it's like, oh, well, we should have drafted him in the 4th, not the 2nd, this or that. I think that there is a pressure and an expectation, and I think that Adam Thielen moving on, or that the Panthers going on to that, Coker getting hurt, is that like XL has to be good for the Panthers faster than maybe it's fair to him.
Right. And what I meant with that Quentin Johnson thing was like he's playing the number. Like, I mean, he's having a great year so far. He's the number 3 receiver.
I don't think so.
On the
I
team.
think
Yeah,
Keenan Allen actually is.
No, Keenan Allen's getting
Like
10 targets
40.
a game. He's on my fantasy team. He's getting 10 targets. Keenan Allen right now is a top 10 wide receiver in the NFL.
But Lad McConkey has also been their third down merchant. Whenever they need a lot of those big third downs, they go to Lad.
I just think this is, it comes back, Greg, to this. It's such a great and terrible discussion. This is a terrible discussion. Why I hate the draft so much. And I'm sorry, Cody. I fucking hate this, that. But it's like, I come back to Devin Funchess, and I'm just like, you know, Devin Funchess, I liked him. I want him to be good. I don't think the Panthers needed to trade up to get. They traded up to get him, right? So it's like all of a sudden this makes all these different things. This XL could be a good player, but like you're also putting a expectation in on one season. Projection, but then you're investing so much in him, and fairness to him, developmentally, you know, it might be year 3, it might not. You know, is that he's got to go? I mean, I think this is mental a little bit, and I also worry about his condition a little right now.
Well, but remember, this entire offense has not started very well, and it goes back to the defense. When you can depend on your defense to get stops and your special teams is pinning the back at the 21, it gives your offense time to experiment, to open up the playbook, and to get different players going. Like, you can't tell me that a healthy Xavier Legette wouldn't have potentially made things better on some of those 2nd and 3rd downs that we were on. It just adds another option. And with Jatavian Sanders being out, it makes it even more of a scenario where XL can step in and really show what it's capable of looking like in this offense.
Cody, can you real quick find, I mean, there's probably a short of this, as Panther Guy said, you should play Cam Newton talking about XL. It's really good.
Yeah.
What I will say to this is the problem, I don't even think it's about the defense playing good and great and this and that, is that the offense made so many big mistakes early in the first couple of games, and last year similarly. Like, is then every play, every mistake becomes exponentially more important. So, like, not every drop is equal. Like, a drop in the first quarter when the game is 0-0 is not the same as a drop in the end zone when you are down 3 and you could have won the game, right? Those, like, you have to give quality points essentially to these things. And so when the Panthers are behind at all, like, or when is that every mistake, whether it is that individually, whether there's another breakdown or something to it, becomes more and more. And I think XL is not a victim, but like that is part of the equation, is that if he drops a pass and you're up 14 points, we're not on the podcast talking about him being a bust or something like this. But when that is a first down, think about Tet, right? Is that we went and looked at it. He had 8 targets, 3 catches. Maybe we'll say there's people say 3 to 5 drops, right? We're not sitting here going, oh, the drops, he's lost us the game, because they are less consequential. And Xavier Legette is kind of sucked into this vortex of quality points. Where last season, the 2-3 drops he had were in moments that are winning games that are incredible. It's not the same as dropping it on the first down, or what Tet did in this moment. And so, like this compounding, and I would say the same thing for Bryce Young and interceptions. Like an interception and you're up 14 points is not the same as an interception that puts you down 7 points to start the game. Let's go ahead and play this clip right here.
If this is the one she's talking about, she also there was also one of him on First Take. I don't know which one she was talking about. But this is after XL released that mixtape of him running routes with the route guide.
Yeah, this is it. This is the right one.
Wait, is this all the way up?
No.
And it ain't gonna guarantee you 1,000 yards. And I'm just using Xavier Legette as an example, bro. He's a first round pick. How does it translate? Xavier, never mind with the country slang, bro. Never mind with the Glorilla music video. Lock in. Keep the main thing the main thing. Your time is ticking. When you look at the premier players in the league, do you ever see them working out? The answer is no. When you really working, who don't care who sees what you're doing. Think of a guy like Devontae Adams, a swordsman when it comes to route running. These guys really work the position. It ain't about who, ha. How about let's get back to the fundamentals? Understanding like, what the quarterback is expecting of me. Too many times I see receivers focusing on route running or skill sets that they're not the receiver that really has these routes. I see a lot of these option route runners like, bro, you're never going to run an option route, bro. Work what you're going to do. The way you look
Cam is
will keep you in the jersey, but not for long. He looked the part.
I like
Everything.
his co-host on this one. Watch this.
But bro, I'm trying to tell you. 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 That fan favorite is only a fan favorite when you're a young player or you're a productive player. You don't get to be a fan favorite when you're doing the bare minimum. You're no longer a rookie anymore, bro. Dismissed.
So look, I never wanted to move on, but I'll say this first. I did say that with all of the things that XL did in the offseason, that it opened him up to more criticism if he didn't come out of the gate hot like a lot of fans expected him to. But again, I'm just at the point, though, where now I think that with the defense playing better, he has a better opportunity to have a more defined role. Now that Jatavian Sanders goes down, there's still no Jalen Coker, who will probably get back in a few weeks. To me, this is a golden opportunity for XL to go out and prove his worth to this offense and to his team. I have not been impressed. I don't think anyone has, but I also don't think that we've been seeing enough reason to give up on him completely. And that's where I'm at with XL.
Yeah, next call.
FanSided C3 Panthers Podcast. I was just laying around watching y'all guys. This is Bryce Young, and I just wanted to say that I think we went out there and gave it 110%, and I think we played good. We played real good, and I love the podcast.
Hey, Bryce Young, fan of the podcast.
He found it.
Love it. All right, let's keep going.
Hey, what's up? This is Heroes Path. I just want to commend
Hero. What's up, brother?
Listener, but I just want to commend you for everything you're doing. Been a listener since 2018.
Oh man, thank you so much.
Being a Panther fan is not easy. And,
Hi, I'm Anthony. I'm a
probably
Panthers
what's worse
fan.
is being a Carolina Panther podcaster. Can even be brutal. But you're towing the line and you keep pounding.
Thank you so much. And we got final.
Appreciate
Go back
you,
to
brother.
John B for one more.
Hey guys, John B. Jenkins calling back in again. Look, I don't know if the second call will get aired or not, but I wanted to call in and talk about the kicking game and specifically what was the XFL kickoff, now the UFL kickoff, and how the NFL is not using it right, but we seem to be kicking it right. So, the new rules require us to have it kicked within a specific zone. And I think, long story short, this, Ryan Fitzgerald guy, first of all, I am really loving him as our kicker. I don't know. Maybe it was just Eddie Piñeiro's haircut.
Oh, it's terrible.
Just
terrible.
the consistently missed extra point.
Yes.
But I'm glad he's gone. But loving Fitzgerald. And he is nailing the kickoff. I'm kind of starting backwards from my points here, but he is nailing the kickoff. He is pinning it inside. It is all, the kickoff has now become almost like a punt. We are excelling at it. Now, how the NFL is messing up this whole kickoff thing. So originally it was designed to increase the number of returns. And the way the XFL initially implemented it was you had your kicker and you had your returner. And then the rest of the 10 guys were lined up man to man right across from each other. And it became almost like a giant running play. And originally in the XFL, they had several runs. And in the ELF, they still used the original XFL formula for these kickoffs. The NFL, if you'll notice, we're putting like 3 to 5 guys in the back to kind of block almost like a punt. That it's screwing it up. It's screwing up the play, I promise. Line everyone up man to man, and you will get more returns. But on the kicking side of it, you've still got to pin that ball in there, and that is exactly what we are doing. So I don't know. We've at least got the kicking part right. If we would adjust our return formation, I don't know if the NFL allows us to do that, but we would get more returns, I promise. Anyway, that's all I got. Keep pounding Carolina Panthers. Keep pounding Panthers Rockslaw. Go Fish. And keep pounding C3 Panthers Podcast.
Get us Kevin Donnelly and some Gabagool. The Carolina Panthers have moved up in the power rankings, guys. The Panthers are 21 in the power rankings, and according to NFL.com, but yep, we got it right here. Oh God, I had my note pulled up here. Where did it go? What in the world? This is. I was ready, and then I got all right. Fresh off, this is according to NFL.com and their power rankings here, as they put Carolina 21. I think we're down in the 30s or 20, like really low after. I mean, obviously 0-2 start. Fresh off their first victory of the season, the New England Patriots returned home with a chance to win back-to-back games for the first time in 2022. They did not do that, and instead delivered a lackluster performance that saw the offense turn the ball over five times en route to a 21-14 loss, 3 fumbles. This is their writing about. Actually, I don't even have any notes about this. I thought I had a note. Where is my notes? Oh, here it is. What a fumble that was. I pulled here it is. I read the wrong note. 3 of the Panthers' 7 victories with Bryce Young starting at quarterback have come against Atlanta. Think about that. 3 of 7 victories again. He's 3-1 against the Falcons and 4-25 against the rest of the league, which is strange. But no one is going to sneeze at a 30-zip whooping after an uninspiring 0-2 start. The first 96 minutes of the season, the Panthers were outscored 53-13. Since then, has been a 49-0 edge for Carolina. They have certainly feel more confident operation right now, especially defensively. There's still some warts that could come out against stronger teams, but this suddenly doesn't look close to the worst defense in the league. Chal Smith-Wade had a pick 6. Mike Jackson added the pick, and Christian Roseboom and Ashawn Robinson were highly disruptive. This might not be the 85 Bears, but the Panthers' no-name defense has come alive. Moved up in the power rankings because of this performance, guys. Let's not spend too much time on this. The Panthers have jumped up. We went to 21 now. Cody, where are we going next?
Yes, sir. Up next, this is looking forward towards the future. Both Nick Bosa is out for the season, and CeeDee Lamb is projected to be out 4 weeks. And we play both the Cowboys and the 49ers. So this is a potential opportunity for the Panthers to come away with a big W against some teams who are missing some of their best players.
Yeah. So we need this momentum right now. And the Patriots game. Are we going to the Patriots next?
Yeah, Patriots are next this Sunday.
Yeah, in the show. Here we go.
Yeah.
Thankfully, is the Panthers can't just one game will not do anything. The Panthers will have to do something, right? And they have to they got to capitalize now. Things will get tougher as they go on. Here is the note for this. As I was prepared for the show and I read the wrong note. Fresh off their first victory of the season, New England Patriots returned home with a chance to win back-to-back games their first time. The Patriots, look, I mean, they are going backwards, right? This is not the Patriots of old, but the first time since 2022 that they've had a chance to win back games. They did not do it. Instead, delivered a lackluster performance that saw the offense turn the ball over 5 times en route to a 21-14 loss to the Pittsburgh Steelers. They had 3 fumbles on 22 runs. And Ramondre Stevenson, their running back, who lost the ball twice, fumbled the ball twice. Drake May fumbled once. He leads the NFL in fumbles since the start of 2024. He's had 9 fumbles in 20 games.
Sheesh.
Provided a brutal, and then they asked him after this. This is what he said: "Man up, man. Stevenson, got to give him props for this." He said this: "If I don't hold on to the ball, they don't need me." So what do we need to know? We're heading to the Patriots. Nick and them are going to be there. What do we got to know about our foe?
Yeah, man. So first, we're going to start with Drake May, Charlotte native. Drake May went through a lot as a rookie. He wasn't necessarily given tools around him to flourish last season, but still managed to throw his way into a Pro Bowl in first year based on impressive play. Now, with an offensive line that added Will Campbell at tackle with a number 4 overall pick, and a receiving core that added Stephon Diggs in the offseason, made his 5th overall in the league in passing yards, 785, averaging 261.7 per game through 3 weeks. May has 5 passing touchdowns, only 1 interception, plus a rushing touchdown. May has been very susceptible to sacks. He is tied for the second most in the NFL with 12 so far, including 5 that came Sunday versus the Steelers. Good team, a lot of direct runs, talented quarterback, said outside linebacker Nick Scotton in his overall impressions after watching the Week 3 game. Obviously, they drafted Will Campbell. I've had competition against him in college. I mean, I'm just excited to scout those guys and be able to go compete this week. Listen, Drake May has surprisingly been one of the better quarterbacks this year.
Till last week.
Yeah, but his second in completion percentage, his 3rd in success rate, his number 8 overall in EPA, and the Patriots can't run the ball. So they need to be able to pass the ball to be effective. And the Panthers' defensive backfield, as we previewed earlier, right now is one of the best parts of our defense.
The good and bad parts about this is that the good parts is that our corners play well and their wide receivers haven't done much. The bad part is that they're tight end. Drake May is a tight end. He's a Carson Wentz guy right now. Tight ends. And tight ends have killed us, or at least they did against Arizona. What do we next need to know about this New England matchup?
Yeah, the secondary is still unsure of Gonzalez's status. The Patriots have been without the all-pro corner this season. Christian Gonzalez sidelined. Gonzalez suffered a severe hamstring injury during training camp on July 28th. He returned to practice last week for the first time since the injury and didn't play again against the Steelers in Week 3 after being listed as questionable ahead of the game. With the corner unable to go, the Patriots secondary has struggled, clocking in 29th in the league in passing defense, allowing an average of 256.3 yards, passing yards a game. The unit did hold Aaron Rodgers to 139 passing yards on Sunday. Gonzalez's game status likely won't be known until the end of the week, meaning his participation in practice will be something to keep an eye on through Friday.
What I'm hearing is good news right now is that the wide receivers are not producing much. Our corners have been producing well. Their secondary is vulnerable. We need our passing game to get it under control. Not worried about, but yeah, I am, is that how those tight ends will match up against our linebackers. And when we're in that nickel, what are we doing there? And Vrabel, tough
Yes,
coach.
sir.
Cody, hit us up.
Yeah, by the way, this is all courtesy of Panthers.com, so we appreciate them. A tough identity under Vrabel. Mike Vrabel won 3 Super Bowls as an All-Pro and Pro Bowl linebacker with the Patriots during his playing days. But the same mindset that helped him find success during that time is helping him ignore it now as the first-year head coach with this former team. I have a lot of respect for Coach Vrabel, said Dave Canales on Monday. I know that he's going to have his guys ready to play good fundamental football. Other than a couple turnovers last week from the film that I watched, they're a really sound football team, and I know that's what they're going to bring to this team. I can't wait to dig in more this evening to kind of see specifically what that looks like, but I thought they played well against the Steelers. Through 3 weeks, Vrabel, who has formerly worked as a head coach with the Tennessee Titans, is instilling toughness and production in the area of the squad where he's most familiar, the front seven. The group is tied for 6th in the NFL with 9 sacks, despite having none against the Pittsburgh Steelers.
All right, guys, you're listening to the C3 Panthers podcast. We're about to make our picks for this week, guys. Leave this layout up, Cody. The Panthers, week 4, heading into New England. Right now, as my tally, just from week to week, Greg, is this. Cody moved to 2-1. I'm 1 and everybody else is 1-2. I had a loss. You guys both had wins and made up a game. Carolina on the road against New England. Let me pull this actually. Hold on, so we can make this a cool short. What are the odds? And then what are the odds? Panthers at Patriots.
I have it right here.
Okay, tell me. Actually, hold on. We'll do it like this so we can cut it, right? And then you read the odds when I say this.
Yep.
The Panthers are heading to New England coming off of a win against Atlanta. They shut out their opponent 30-0, and now they might try to find some momentum. They're on the road against the Patriots. The odds are?
The New England Patriots are -5.5 favorites at home with Carolina coming to visit. So
that's a big line right there.
That is. That's more than 2 points over just being a home favorite.
I'm
also
jumping in here first.
55% in the matchup indicator, according to ESPN Analytics.
I'm jumping in here first. I'm picking the Panthers to win 2 games in the road, 1 on the road. And if they don't win it, I think they cover this number. Tony's going with a W. Cody, what you got?
I got the W, boys. I'm going 27-20. Carolina Panthers on the road. Get the job done.
CK.
I'm going Panthers are going to win this one. I think it's going to be a nail-biter and a low-scoring affair. So I think it's going to be I'm going to call it 17-14.
Greg.
Panthers all the way, baby.
Panthers. Oh, gosh, we got to worry about this. The whole panel is living on a high. All W's across the board.
I called
Who will pull ahead? Guys, we need the Panthers to pull out a win here. Let's go on the road and make it 2 in a row.
Yeah.
Do we got any? What do we got left?
No, that's it.
That's it. You're listening
That
to the
is
C3
it.
Panthers podcast brought to you by CarolinaCatChronicles.com. Congratulations to Kevin Boshoven, my bastard son, for winning the Panthers swag bag. Now it's time for the longest running segment on the longest running Panthers podcast. And if we do it quick, we're out of here by midnight. It's time to ice some fools up. It's where we get to tell someone, it's our homage to Steve Smith to tell someone, ice up, toughen up to get it together. And we can step inside or outside the lanes or the lines of football. Cody, let's ice some fools up.
Ice up.
ice up.
Ice up, son. It's our time where we can tell a 12-year-old in Oklahoma, our family, our kids, or whatever to ice up. I'm not icing my son up who scored a 32 on the ACT.
Yeah, let's go.
Fire, fire, fire. Who wants to ice some fools up first?
I'll go first. I don't have a funny one.
Okay.
Although I kind of do, to be honest. So listen, again, we sort of sometimes delve into the realm of the political world. Donald Trump and RFK Jr. just announced that Tylenol is apparently that it could cause autism in pregnant women. And listen, if you do not feel if you do not feel like Trump and RFK produced enough evidence to say that that is the truth, that's fine. But I'm icing up all the pregnant women who hate Donald Trump more than they love their unborn child, as to own them so hard as to go on TikTok and just down bottles of Tylenol just to piss off nobody. Like, it's so stupid. On the off chance that you're wrong, you're willing to risk the life of your unborn child just to show how much you hate Donald Trump. That's pretty autistic, if I'm being honest myself. So to these virtue signaling idiots, ice up, son.
What's funny about this is that Tylenol was the center of the scandal that got us all of those you have to pull the crap off, right? This vacuum seal thing.
Oh, yeah.
Remember, like in the 80s or the 90s?
Yeah.
Somebody had, like, on the worker on the line was tainting them or something to that effect. So Tylenol was the brand that gave us the remove. I don't know if that's good or actually, I don't have a problem with it. It's like, oh, I'm glad this hasn't been tampered with by a worker. But the Tylenol brand, how about this? Is also Tylenol is a brand.
Yeah,
it's
but they're saying that
it's itself, right?
Right. The critique was acetaminophen. And by the way, this isn't Donald Trump and RFK saying it. The dean of Harvard School of Public Health has also gone on record saying that that there is links to Tylenol and autism in pregnant women. So I am by no means a scientist, but none of these dumb broads downing bottles of Tylenol are either. So ice up, son.
I would say just take Tylenol or that drug as needed, not as a recreational drug. I've never just been like, oh, how about this? I want a TikTok Tylenol. But
TikTok Tylenol. Like
TikTok Tylenol. Let's get that. Greg, you got to ice up for us?
I do not. Honestly.
Okay.
I was thinking about doing the one Cody was, but I didn't have enough.
That was going to be mine as well.
Okay. Oh, man. Well, this is a lackluster. Ice up to you two. All right. My ice up pick goes to Wells Fargo, the Wells Fargo Bank. All right. So I got to check my dad owns a business cleaning windows, and I pick up some work, on the side. I help my dad out. My dad's 70 years old, and he's had this small business for over 30 years. Shout out to him for just think about a business surviving, whether it's one worker, no workers, or just him, provided an income for our family for over 30 years. Shout out to him for having a window cleaning, pressure washing business. I did it my whole life. I started working when I was 12 years old, and it helped me get through college. Right. So I still go pressure wash houses on the weekend with this dude. And, I'm like, now I got to carry it's time to carry the ladders around stuff. Dad is slowing down a little bit, but Dad does not want to stop working. So my dad had a cold, like a cold, like, it was just under the weather, that type of 3-5 days. And he said, if you want this job, you go do it this weekend. And, just whatever. So I went and did it and wrote the check and fine. I mean, all great. Right. And so I needed the money, bro. Like, I get paid once a month. We're at starving time right now. All my bills are paid, but I ain't got no liquid cash. So I go to cash this check and I need to pay a couple of things. I can pay for my kids, some stuff like this. So you go cash the check if you go to your bank, you have to have enough, or generally, I don't know what the rules are because I don't cash checks or deposit checks a lot anymore. But when you get a check from another bank, you gotta have enough money in your account usually to cover it in case it bounces. So what you do is you can go to that bank and cash it, right? Because they can verify if the funds are in there or whatever. So I didn't even know where Wells Fargo was in my town. I had to like Google, so I go to Wells Fargo and it's not that bad. Like, I mean, they didn't have, I love this capitalism, which I do love capitalism, but this funny too, is these giant mega corporations that have more like this. They had like 2 people working. This line took forever. Right. And so I stood in this line. I get all the way up there, go to cash the check, and this is a check from their bank. You know what I'm saying? It is the check. Isn't that what you guys do? Right? Like, I mean, if you guys had a check, right, wouldn't that you do the same thing? You go to that bank and you don't have any fees or whatever. It's like, because you don't have any of that risk of it bouncing or something like that. Because if you go to your bank, they have like a 2 to 3 day, maybe it might take time to get in your account or whatever. So I'm like standing in line for like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, a long time. And not that, but like, I was like, look at this giant bazillion-dollar building and they got 2 people working, which is fine. I get up there and they go, oh, it's going to be a $10 fee to cash this check. I said, this check is from your bank. That's the whole reason I came here. I came here so I didn't have a fee if I went to my bank.
Right.
And you know what? This was funny. I mean, not funny, but like they said, I need 2 forms of ID. I said, you mean my driver's license? They're like, I gave them so she said, I need 2 forms of ID. I was like, 2? Like, I mean, I need a birth certificate and my driver's license. No, but I gave her my driver's license and just a debit card, which is not an ID. It just had my name on it.
Yeah.
And so like, she was okay. She's like typing. She's like, it's going to cost $10. I said, this is your bank. This is the whole reason I came here. And I didn't want to get irritated with the teller because it's not her problem. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, I was like,
right.
But
it's a bank policy. Yeah.
Yeah. So I said, nah, I said, F that. Because I had already driven around looking for this damn bank for a minute. And my bank is 1 block over. I said, nah, just give me the shit back. I'm going to go to my bank. But like, to me, this is like, I just looked at this not corporate. That's not right. Fuck them for these junk fees.
Yeah, that's junk fees. But what's wild about it is you can go to Walmart and cash it for cheaper than what they're going to try to cash their own check for. It's, to be honest with you, it's just their method of trying to get you to open up a checking account with them so you can avoid the fee. That's really what it boils down to.
Okay, maybe open that. All right, so they want you to open an account. But also, these jerks too, it's their money. They should honor it, right? And she's like, we just started. But then one other thing I want to say about this is CK was standing in that long, like this line, and it was nice. The teller was just talking to this person. I think they had Alzheimer's, so it was just like it kind of slowed things up and stuff.
Yeah.
They had a big ad on. I mean, this is a big, giant building. Like, there's like, it's so much money in the building that's unnecessary itself, right? Like, it's like there's no reason to have this giant building when there's like 4 people working. But they had the screen said this is check out our savings account, that high yield savings account. 3.5% interest. You're like, oh, that sounds cool. But a minimum of a $10,000 deposit. That's what it said. A minimum of a $10,000 deposit. And you have to keep a $10,000 balance. By the way, you can get a 3.5% interest rate with PayPal savings, which is actually run by Synchrony with no 10,000 minimum. I'm just saying this. F y'all, Wells Fargo, for charging this fee when you guys are making a gazillion dollars anyway off of everybody else's money. I love capitalism. I'm not saying this. I don't want to fight capitalism, but this is ridiculous.
No, this isn't capitalism.
And I walked my ass out.
Greed.
I walked my ass out, and then I went to my bank and I put it in. Guess what? And I had no fees.
Go to a credit union. Credit unions.
Well, I mean, I am part of that, but I was actually trying to play the game the way it's supposed to be. You go.
That was your problem. Never play the game the way you're supposed to, or the way you're told to play it, man.
That's their money. Think about that. Is the check is issued by them. Usually the fee in the history of anybody who has been before, and I know this conversation does not resonate with a lot of the audience because checks are antiquated. But if you went to your bank and cashed it, that's when you would get the $10 fee.
Because there's risk involved.
Right.
Like, that's really what it boils down to. There's risk involved. And so by, the fee is intended for, dude, the fee, the fee issue that we have in the world is ridiculous. Like
with your money.
With your money, but also like if I want to go in, there are some bills that you have to pay online, right? Well, you go to pay online, they have a fee to pay online.
They call it a convenience fee.
Yeah. And so, one of those was, and I can't remember specifically, it was like, it might not have even been anything like bill related. It might've been an event or something that I was going to.
It was the movie. I bet you it was AMC.
But it was somebody that
movies. They charge you a fee.
No, it wasn't anything like that. It was something else, but it was something that has to do. You know what it was? It was where we went to Tennessee for our anniversary 2 weeks ago. And you have to buy the tickets for many of those things on the website.
That's the only way you can get it.
Right. And they only give you the option to use your card. Well, when you use your card, you have to pay a fee. Well, if you're only going to give the option to pay for this using a card, there should be no fee involved because you've given me no other alternative to be able to process that payment. And so that irritates that. It's just the world of fees is ridiculous. With banks, it's more ridiculous because think about
they're making tons of money off of everything anyway.
Off of everything else, right? Wells Fargo, I used to work for them, and the savings account, you would have to put $25,000 in to a high yield savings to be able to get 0.005% interest.
And then they invest in your money, which is fine. But to your point, CK, about the fee thing, this is when I learned it. It was a long time ago when AMC, I was trying to go to the movies.
Yeah.
Right. And you could not buy the ticket at the desk anymore. Like you had to buy, and then they called it a convenience fee. And I just thought I was like, wait a second, this is an inconvenience fee. It's convenient for you, number one. And then you save a gazillion dollars because you don't pay people. Like they're saving money. And then they're like, oh, here's a $3 fee because you can only buy it online. I'm sorry. I'm icing up that. I'm just icing up. I don't know. Just Wells Fargo. Ice up.
Well, you missed 12 o'clock by 9 minutes.
Oh, man. It was a long ice up pick. All right, Cody. I'm sorry.
I love it.
You know what? Hit me up with an inconvenience fee for that ice up pick. Take us out of here. It's the C3 Panthers podcast brought to you by CarolinaCatChronicles.com. Longest running Panthers podcast. We don't even make it by 12. We milk your 9-10 minutes. Let's go.
Hey man, this Friday at 7 p.m. for the Friday free for all. Get in there and let us know your opinions on these Carolina Panthers. Be a part of the discussion. C3 Legion, you already know what time it is. Keep pounding.
Fuck junk fees.